Hello everyone, and welcome to a game called Who is the Red Queen? Oh my goodness, a door knock already. Hello. Come on in, the door's open. Actually, it's not. I'm a terrible, terrible liar at the moment. My door is shut. But hello, and welcome, and congratulations on the first Limsev. I had to double check then. But welcome, welcome. How's it going? Another puzzle game? No, this time it's a visual novel. I haven't actually played a visual novel, just like a solid visual novel, in quite a while. So I'm really excited to check this out. This is a game that has been highly recommended to me by friends. And it's also free to play as well, so if you want to play it at any point, it is available. You can just pick it up off Steam and play it immediately. But yes, hello everyone. It's a bit eerie having no background music. I'm used to games having background music for the menus. It's a bit quiet at the moment, but that's okay. But yes, hello everyone. Hello Nicolio, nice to see you. Hello Chen Hayon. Oh, thank you for the follow, Kurosami VT. Welcome. Welcome to the stream. I hope you enjoy your time here. Zariad, hello. May not know who the Red Queen is, but you know who the Pink one is. Me? Do you mean me? I'll take that. Kanan, hello. Limsev, hello. Congratulations on the first. Addy, hello. You're one of the reasons I am playing this game. I will fully admit it. After you were recommending it so highly, I was like, you know what? That's the kind of thing I want to play. So yes, I'm very much looking forward to it. Akire, hello. Nice to see you. And hello, Sus Nugget. Hello. Thank you for the lurk. I hope your lurking goes well. Oh, it's so quiet. I feel like I should just click in and start the game in the hopes that there is some sound other than clicking. But yeah, horror, Yuri, gay panic. I'm ready. Please be aware there are quite a few content warnings in place for this game. There was a splash screen that came up at the start, which has a lot of warnings, and I do have a command as well. So please be aware, this is a horror game. And there is quite a lot in it. It seems it should be interesting. But yes, I'm really excited to play it. Also, hello, Gigi. Nice to see you. I'm ready. I'm just going to click start. We're going to go for it. Ooh. Ooh. Falling, falling, falling. I was falling. Down this rabbit hole with no start nor end. I was falling. Please let me know if it's a bit too loud as well, because I didn't test the volume ahead of time. I usually do it on the main menu when I'm figuring out audio levels for games, but there was no music on the menu, so I'm kind of going with it. I'm gonna hope it's okay. I think it should be alright. But yeah, honestly, same. Like, animal cruelty is the one thing that tends to get me the most, so... Oh, we'll see how it goes. Here we go. Where had I gone? Where could I go? As if I were forgetting something very important, I fell down, down and down through a sparkling, shining darkness. Too bright to be dark, too dark to be bright. No redeem spam today, used it all on... Oh, knocking! Yeah. Yeah, I made the door knock redeem quite expensive because otherwise... there would be too many knocks. Especially when the door's already open. You can come along. Thank you for the head pats, though. I must have been chasing after someone. After something. Thank you. There's the example. Thank you for the door knock. Like a girl whose curiosity was piqued by a rabbit with a watch, I was falling, falling, falling. Down, down, down. Again, again, again. This endless well seemed to lead everywhere yet nowhere at once. Either the hole extended very deep, or I descended very slow. Was I truly even going downward? Perhaps this was all a dream, a fever dream, or in more words, a fantasy that would be as soon forgotten as it was had. I held just one certainty. I was Alice. Alice was me. Thank you for the lurk. I hope the gym goes well. And Milo, hello, welcome. Now then, Just how long was I supposed to keep falling? The air brushed... Jim. The air brushed Jim, huh? The air brushed past my fingers, my cloak ruffling upward. A quiet humming breeze caressed my cheek. As if I could hear someone's voice, a pleasant voice, a woman's voice, I strained my ears for whispers in the wind. Alice, what a time for madness. Without a bit of fear or vertigo, should you not have focused on topics more pressing? Like the darkness, or the light, or how you couldn't awaken from this dream? But even now you were just falling, falling, falling. What does it matter? With a thump thump, I came upon soft grass, and the fall was over. Honestly, whenever I think about the Ring of Fire, I just think of the Tony Hawk's games. I've been kind of ruined. Such a classic song, and I'm just here like, oh, that was in Tony Hawk. Good memories. Thank you for the head pats. With a thump thump, I came upon soft... I don't know why I don't want to say upon there. I came upon soft grass, and the fall was over. Not a bit hurt, I forced myself to my feet. Up above my head, the firmament whence I fell had not a tear in its blue canvas. Down about my eyes, only familiar, unfamiliar surrounded me. I started on an exploratory stroll. Soon, I stumbled upon a rabbit who looked like a girl, or a girl who looked like a rabbit. Perhaps the correct answer was that she was both a girl and a rabbit? Not lingering much on the species of rabbit before me, I called out to her. Excuse me? Where was this place? Why was I here? How could I leave to return home? I thought of what to ask her, but she recognized me as soon as I spoke, so my questions were lost in my mouth unasked. Alice? Oh my goodness, thank you for the 16-month sub. Hello, Sean, thank you. Thank you for the resub. That's so many months. Welcome to horror visual novel time. And me attempting to do some voice acting now. I've got to try and think of some voices for these characters. This should be fun. And oh my god, 21 months. I can't believe I've already been streaming for that long. It's so wild. Thank you for the resub, Addie. Thank you. I'm going to give you a shout out too. Because I can. Also, Timochi, hello, welcome. Welcome. Hope you enjoy your time here. A bit of horror going on. White Rabbit? Have you seen Her Majesty? Do you know where she's gone? Where could she go? Her Majesty, the Red Queen. She must be taking a vacation of sorts. I only wish that she could have left this little rabbit a note. I'm in a bit of a panic, you see. The land can't run without its queen. Please let me know if you catch sight of her. I nodded. Who this Red Queen was, I had not a clue, but a tingling déjà vu. Still, my acceptance of the request let the White Rabbit breathe out a sigh of relief. Just as I prepared to pose my own questions, she straightened her back in surprise. I'm afraid I have to go. I'm going to be late. The White Rabbit dashed off. I wanted to ask some questions. Never mind that. Follow her, Alice. Although I chased after her with only a moment's pause, when I turned a corner, she was nowhere to be seen. I found myself in a garden meticulously kept. Tailing the rabbit, I barely dashed a few paces. Oh my goodness! Ath, hello! Hi, Ath, how's it going? Thank you so much for the raid. Welcome. I'll give you a shout out. Oh, you were playing Cyberpunk? Oh, I hope that went well. Welcome. Thank you for raiding. For anyone who's new here, hello. I'm Lirie. I'm a pink-haired cat girl from the UK, and I love puzzle games. But at the moment, I am playing a visual novel. It's a horror visual novel. It's a Alice in Wonderland horror theme Yuri visual novel, which, for anyone who doesn't know what that means, is gay, which is why I latched onto it. But oh my goodness, Yamato! Yamato, thank you so much for the sub! Got a hype train going. Oh, thank you so much. Oh, I feel so proud. I feel so special that you always use your Prime on me. Thank you, Yamato. I get the free Amazon money. Thank you. But how did your stream go? Thank you so much for raiding. I hope you had a good stream. Thank you for bringing your community over here. And yeah, there's a hype train going now as well. Got some hype for Horror Alice in Yuri Land. Heck yes. Went really well, so hooked you couldn't stop. Oh, that's the sign of a fun game. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I know my brother's been hooked on Cyberpunk. He played it so much. And also, I ended up watching the Cyberpunk Edge Runners anime recently. That anime was incredible. It broke me. It was so good. 13 hours! Oh my goodness. Wow. Yeah, it must have been good then. But thank you so much for bringing your raid over this way. If you're tired after your stream, please don't feel obligated to stay. I know streaming is tiring, but if you want to stick around anyway, just have a comfy lurk or anything, you are welcome to stay. Such a good anime though. Anyway, where was I? I'm trying to find this rabbit again. Tailing the rabbit, I barely dashed a few paces. I hadn't realized such a place was so close by. Rather, I hadn't realized I had run this far. A conjecture tickled my mind that this world I fell into was a magical place, one with paths that pointed to one way but twisted to another. What an explanation, much more far-fetched than me just not knowing where I was running. Couldn't be that. Anyway, I'm also gonna post the content warnings again. There were quite a few content warnings that appeared at the start of the game when I loaded up the splash screen, so I do have a command for it, so please be aware that this is a horror game. There is stuff in it. But yeah, I'm really excited to play this though. Should be good. I took a moment to catch my breath. Glancing around, I began my walk about the garden. Flowers and greenery all around, but not a person in sight. This place was beautiful. I wanted to meet the person who made it. Not quite a gardening person myself, I still appreciated a pretty place, and felt a swelling excitement to explore what sights could be seen. A reminder of reality then dampened my joyful curiosity. I wanted some answers, a way out and back home. As pleasant as dreams were, one had to be able to awaken from them before they turned into nightmares. Oh, Yamato! Happy early birthday for your pa! I hope that the shopping goes well. Thank you for stopping in. When the horror game has animal cruelty, you know it's real horror then. Yeah, it's like the one thing that bothers me. Actually, no, that's a lie. I think related to horror things, I'm actually quite a big horror fan, but I don't do well with animal cruelty, and also anything that involves eyes, like eye gore. That kind of thing, I cannot deal with that. That's like my one limit. If there's like a squeamish eye scene in a horror film, I have to look away. It's like the one thing I can't handle. Which is really weird, because with my own eyes, like, I'm not squeamish at all. Like, I can poke my eyeball, and I'm fine with it. So yeah, but yeah, there's a lot of stuff that I can deal with pretty well, but it's just, eye gore. Not my thing. Anyway, whether this was a dream or reality had still yet to be seen. Step, step, I walked around, hop, hop. I peered over the bushes. Soon enough, I discovered the heart of the garden where one might sit for tea. And thank you for the lurk, Yamato. Really bad with horror in general, but you're trying some stuff for that October content. Oh, yes. 'Tis the season to be scary. It's honestly, I love Halloween though. We all celebrate Halloween in our house. Like, we always decorate the house. We have we have loads of like little ghosty decorations and pumpkins and skeletons, and we just kind of dress the whole house up like most people do for Christmas. Like, we do it for Christmas too. Any excuse to make things look pretty. But whenever there's Halloween, we've got like these whole boxes full of Halloween decorations, and every year we're just like, yes, there we go. It's time to put the spiders up. Time to add the cute little black cat statues everywhere. It's so fun. I love it. Oh god, yes. I want the Morrison's cat. There's a shop in the UK called Morrison's, and at the moment they're selling these black cat Halloween toys, and it's the ones where you like push them and they sing a song. But the song it sings is Shake It by Metro Station, which is the last thing you would expect a little Halloween-y cat to sing. But I really want one. I want to get one so badly. I just need to actually go to Morrison's. I spotted a white-haired girl in the garden. Ooh. To amend my previous thoughts, wouldn't it be right to say that I rather also appreciated a pretty person? Frivolous thoughts flew from my mind as our eyes met. Her gaze seemed to beckon me over, so over I went to speak with her. Oh, what voice do I give her? Ooh. Are you enjoying the garden? The garden is beautiful. The gardener will be happy to hear that from you. However, if you have come here now, you should be searching for something. We should first introduce ourselves. I am the White Queen. Just like with the rabbit, for reasons unclear to me, I already knew who she was. Here, that should be as good as a name. Your Majesty, my name is Alice. Don't stand on ceremony, Alice. I am not someone you need to speak with particularly respectfully. Welcome to my garden in Wonderland. Viking Pichu, hello! Thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Translation from Flowery's speech. I'm heckin' gay. Yeah, that's what I'm here for this game. I'm ready. But welcome to the stream. Thank you for the follow. I hope you enjoy your time here. I am indeed a kitty. I've got little cat ears. I got a little cat tail. You can't really see my tail at the moment. Ugh. Can't see it. There we go. A little flash of tail. But welcome. Wonderland. I tasted the word on my tongue. I can't remember why or how I'm here. Not this garden, but Wonderland. I was falling, and I couldn't remember why I was falling. I was simply falling until I fell no more. Had to do a quick run to the grocery store. Worm on a string, thank you. I'm sure I've forgotten something very important. You needn't force yourself to remember. Some things are better left forgotten. Perhaps it was fated for you to come here. Perhaps something is missing that you must find. This world must appear like a place of dreams. You should find the Red Queen. The missing queen whom the White Rabbit mentioned was the Red Queen. I waited for the White Queen to continue. She hesitated to speak of the Red Queen, as if the elusive royal would appear like a ghost behind her as she spoke. I tried to imagine what sort of person the Red Queen was. She will let you return to your own reality. When you meet her, you should be able to find all the answers you are seeking for. As for where she is, that is for you to discover. Do you dislike her? That is a worried face. That's a difficult question, Alice. So she's like that? I'll let you judge the Red Queen. You might learn something new about yourself. What's that supposed to mean? Shall I head off to find her now? Why not stay for some tea? Of course, I'd love to, but it's not quite afternoon tea time yet. A later time, then. Certainly to have tea outside of tea time wouldn't do. I won't keep you for too much longer, Alice. I'm sure you will be able to find that person soon enough. Until later. Later. I waved goodbye to the White Queen and departed from her garden. Yeah, I've got to say, I am such a huge fan of not just Alice in Wonderland itself, but there have been so many things which are adapted from Alice in Wonderland, and I really love the whole surreal fantasy world of Alice in Wonderland. I love it so much. It's so good. Right, glancing back, I saw her gaze linger upon me. Her gaze. My gaze? I'm gay. Anyway. I stepped onto a twisting path in the forest. I didn't know which way to go to find the elusive Red Queen, turning left and right. To find a queen, I thought to seek a castle. However, the rabbit said that the queen was missing, so unless the rabbit had also forgotten something very important, the queen shouldn't have been at the castle. The Red Queen, she seemed like a troubling person. The way the White Queen's face froze, tongue stuttering along, at the topic of the Red Queen made me wonder, was the latter queen a tyrant or a fool? Or are they just married? Just saying, two queens, you never know. The tutor at home liked to talk about kingship of that sort. To me, either or neither were fine. After all, who were the peasantry to affect the mood of a high queen? I hummed and walked along with a skip in my step. Just as I reached a rhythm in my stride, I kicked a little something. An animal? That threw me off my beat. Oh no. I slowed to applaud, my mood a note dampened. Soon I heard the chatter of a girl a few trees away. Seeing not much civilization here in the forest, I followed the voice of the girl. Also, I have not played American McGee's Alice. I haven't played that before. I've heard really good things about it, though. I would be so curious to play that at some point. I feel like that would be quite interesting. Also, Barb, hello. Thank you for the lurk. Thank you for stopping in. I hope the meetings go well. I'll be wishing you luck. Also, Hysteria Mode as well. Hello. Welcome. Right, let's follow the voice of the girl. Although she was chattering, I heard her voice alone. Ah, hello. I passed by a few bushes and soon enough found a tea party in the middle of nowhere. At a table set before a tree sat the girl. Oh, I need an interesting voice for this one. Hello there, Alice. What did you come here for? Her chatter ceased. Her mismatched eyes pierced through me in its place. There's no room here at the table, so don't take a seat. No room! No room! She moved the puppets on her hand, a sleepy mouse and a mad hare. Looking right to left, I could barely see the ends of the table set for tea. One person in such a large space, conversely, she almost seemed lonely. There's plenty of room, Hatter. To make my point, I took a seat in a large armchair across from the Hatter. The chair stunk of flowers as if to clear away the shadow of an unpleasant previous sitter. I sank back into it comfortably. Then I kept sinking, before I jolted back up with a shallow gasp. There's plenty of crowd. That's rude of you to say, Alice. Not very civil of you to sit down without being invited either. But whatever, let's just treat you as our extra guest for tomorrow. Not today? Aren't they the same? Yesterday, today, tomorrow, every day is never a day different, but since I'd rather not deal with it today, we'll just treat it as for tomorrow. Dormouse and March don't mind. You mentioned 3, but I only see 1. She wiggled the puppets on her hands as if to explain everything. 1 was herself, 2 was the first puppet, 3 was the second puppet. I'm scared Alice might be blind. That's a side effect of being Alice. Don't worry. It's just a side effect of being Alice. The pitch of her voice warped. Don't mind their comments. She's Dormouse and he March Hare. She paused as if waiting for me to greet the animal puppets. I waited. She waited. The silence of the conversation bored me, so I relented to the Mad Hatter's wordless request. I was their guest for tomorrow, so a polite guest I decided to be. Well, hello there. I was scared she was deaf as well. Hello there, Alice. Between the puppets, I much preferred the dormouse. If a puppet could fall asleep, she looked as if she was about to do so. I felt some pity, as that meant the March Hare would speak more. What were we talking about before? A riddle? Maybe it was this one. Why is a raven like a writing desk? Do you have an answer to that riddle? I love her already. This is amazing. You're no fun, Alice. Relax and have some wine. There's no wine? You were invited for tea tomorrow, Alice. It's the obligation of the host to offer a guest a drink at tea time. Maybe she was an alcoholic? Hatter, I can't in good faith call this time of day tea time, nor can I call alcohol tea. Details, details. Add some butter. I'm sorry. I don't know why the March Hare is British now. Just kind of happened, I'm sorry. It'll be tea time eventually, so it's tea time now. We're having tea, so it might as well be tea time, don't you think? What did you come here for anyways? Although I couldn't quite say that I'd come to this tea party with a goal in mind, I figured I might as well tell her. I'm searching for the Red Queen. Her brow contorted as she took a sip of her tea. Puppet sat down for just that moment. Dumping the tea away and rinsing the cup, she poured herself another drink. Oh, her. The Hatter placed her lips to the rim of her teacup and stared at me. A minute passed, all 60 seconds consisting of staring, before she ducked down under the table as if to find an item, and popped back up again. Stay and chat for a moment. I'll help you with a little something regarding Her Majesty. The Hatter poured me a cup of tea and slid over a plate of sandwiches. The plate hurtled towards me, forcing me to hurriedly grab it, lest sandwiches spilled all over my lap. Luckily, the cup of tea arrived much more calmly. I took a taste, finding Earl Grey. Is it tomorrow already? At the very least, it wasn't time for afternoon tea. If I'd known I would have tea now, I would have stayed a little longer to have some with the White Queen as well. It was not that people couldn't have tea outside of afternoon tea, but it was a principle of things. If people drank tea any time of day, they would drink it all day. Hey, can I introduce you to British people? I mean, I don't limit my tea. I'm just like, if I feel like a cup of tea, I'll just make a cup of tea. Why not? I sipped some more, enjoying the citrusy flavour of this black tea. Today is tomorrow for yesterday, don't you think? Unless she doesn't think. That would have been rude of you to ask. She's just normal. Oh no, orthogonal? I'm certainly sitting up quite straight. But regarding the Red Queen, do you have some news about her? I'd say I have some business with her instead, something to do with meat and flesh and all the other red things that a Red Queen might have to do with. Aren't you, Hatter? Yes? Not a butcher? Unless your meat is made out of hats? While talking about all things unappetizing, I took a bite of a sandwich filled with an ambiguous colour. Also, I just noticed there's a duck with the cupcakes. A duck cake. Also knives. Are they knives? Is that like one of those like exercise hand grips maybe? I don't know. I don't know what's going on here. I feel like it's probably best not to ask. There's goldfish crackers in the drinks. Okay. A milky sweetness melted in my mouth. I tasted some sort of fruit inside. Maybe it was mango or kiwi or strawberry. Satisfied with the pleasant sweetness, I took another sip of tea. This tea and these sandwiches are delicious. Thank you, Alice. You made them? Compliments to you then. Wow, such flattery! Since you put me in a good mood, I guess we can go ahead with Her Majesty's matter. In fact, she's been sitting here with us the whole time. Uh-oh. Also, Nimal, hello, welcome. Oh, thank you for the head pat. I sat up even straighter in confusion. Glancing around, I saw no queens in sight, Not a human nor animal besides the two of us here. The Hatter rolled a chair over and pulled a cloth off from over the chair's holdings. Ta-da! Nausea ran up my spine. On the chair sat a chunk of meat dressed up in tattered human clothes. I see. Still dripping red, the flesh seemed to ripple, undulating. Was it rotting, or was it still alive? My head spun as I squinted at the thing. This meat, no. This thing resembled a human torso. With half a neck and chopped off limbs, dolled up with what could have been fancy clothes. This was surely human flesh. I sensed an odd familiarity to the torso, but also felt as if I was looking at it from an incorrect angle. This was the torso of a regal woman. I think we found the Red Queen. This was raw human flesh. This is the Red Queen? An inappropriate question flitted across my mind. Could we consider it a sitting if it didn't have legs? I supposed yes. I thought you said you weren't a butcher, Hatter. We definitely couldn't consider this a hat. Having just eaten, the strawberry taste in my mouth turned to a meaty texture like raw pork. I could almost taste sweet, rotten fat. I swallowed. I wondered if the Hatter wanted to make me sick. Yes, I'm a Hatter! I closed my eyes and rubbed the bridge of my nose. Oh, this music is so dramatic. Too distracted by the surprise, the feeling of my fingers almost felt like wet ground meat, even though I was sure that my digits were still attached to my palm. The music is incredible. Oh, why swallow? I know, right? I would have spat that out immediately. Although I guess that's not polite at tea time. I don't know. The image lingered uncomfortably behind my eyelids, not with disgust, but with another inexplicable emotion. A negative one, for sure. I looked at the torso again, and it seemed so still. I saw exposed bone and a shattered trachea. The cut must not have been wholly clean, made with a blade sharpened not quite enough, yet also dulled not quite enough. Yes, this was the Red Queen. I knew not why I knew, but a voice in the back of my head told me that this was the Red Queen. A part of the Red Queen. I'm afraid Her Majesty can't speak right now. The Hatter stirred her tea and popped a bite-sized sandwich into her mouth, munching happily. Don't look like that, Alice! The Hatter didn't dismember Her Majesty.
Yes, Hatter is innocent.
Since only the Hatter spoke up in defense of herself, I wasn't particularly inclined to believe her, but whether or not she did kill the Red Queen, the end result sat before me. What should I do now? I murmured my uncertainty at this dead end aloud. What do you mean? All you have to do is find all the other pieces! If you have anything you need Her Majesty for, all you need to do is put her back together! Have you forgotten, Alice? That sounded mad. So mad I wanted to laugh. This is Wonderland, after all. All I needed to do was find the pieces. That was right, Alice. That was all you needed to do. It would either be terribly simple or terribly hard. I hoped that no one had fed the Red Queen to the pigs or minced her up for a patty. Regardless, all I really needed was a head and the torso if I wanted to talk to her, to ask her about the secrets to returning home. May I take the body with me? Alice, you were a civilized girl. Did you really want to lug around a piece of meat like you were some meat seller, selling to the cannibals? No, that wouldn't be fair, don't you think? Once you find most of her parts, let's just say the limbs, I'll give you a special present and help you out again. She patted a box off to the side of the table. The box was just big enough for a cat or a cake or maybe something like a hat. Or a head. Maybe. Perhaps. Of course, don't peek or try to find out what the present is. It wouldn't be a surprise like that, and I'll be very, very upset if you cheat. With that smile on her face, I couldn't see her upset. Only muddled sincerity came through her voice. Now then, I've got to go grab something off the stove before it burns. Stove? The Hatter got up from her seat and walked away. Here I was, alone with the Red Queen's flesh. It was missing all 4 limbs and a head, so to make her whole, I would need to find 5 parts. I hoped that my search would be easy. Oh, the first decision. Seeing as the Hatter was nowhere in sight, I contemplated as a decision regarding that curious box on the table. Choice time, I am saving. Let me quickly save that. You know what, I've got a feeling that this is gonna lead to a bad end, which is why I kind of want to choose it. Is that bad? Is that bad of me? I'm the kind of person where whenever I play a visual novel, I always try and do the things I think are the wrong option first, so that I can then go back and do the right one, because I'm a completionist and I like doing everything. But anyway, it is time to be naughty, and we're gonna not do what the Hatter says. We're going to tiptoe over to the other side of the table and survey what's around. I couldn't help but feel the headless slab of human watching me, but I ignored the wet the wet queen's body. Oh my god, I need some monster. Hold on. Oh, this is too much. Aha. But I ignored the Red Queen's body, knowing that I would be seeing it often enough. Looking over my shoulder, I ascertained that the Hatter had yet to return. I moved to find the present box on the cluttered table. The Hatter hadn't tied up the box particularly at all. I could open it and close it as if I had never disturbed this mysterious prize to begin with. Oh, well, we've got to then, haven't we? It's not even sealed. I cracked open a small gap so that nothing could come flying out. Peek? Nothing escaped from the box. Instead, I heard a strange, strangled noise from whatever lied inside. A gurgling, drowning voice that caused chills to settle on the back of my neck. Uh-oh. In one go, I took the lid off of the box. I think I know what's in here. Yep. Inside was a head. A bloodied head. The head seemed so familiar, but I couldn't quite make out the face, as if the box had been jostled. I squinted. Is that an ear? Spinning. The world was spinning. A sharp pain burst through my temple, and I rested a palm on my head to stop a growing, pulsing headache in my skull. I reached out a shaking hand to adjust the head in the box. Step, step, step. Footsteps interrupted me. Uh-oh. I thought I only just said not to peek, Alice. The Hatter brandished a hammer in her hand, the head and face a glowing red as if it had been left on the stove. I see. Cheaters get what cheaters deserve. I backed up, crashing into the table, nearly tripping on my own cloak. She raised her arm with the hammer in hand and... crack. We won. I did it. I won the game. Well, that went well. Oh, it's got a percentage. Oh, that's so cool. Oh no, the completionist in me is going to have such a time with that. Alright. Well, welcome back from the bathroom. Yeah, things have escalated rapidly. Right, well, it's probably good to do what the Hatter says. I mean, it's rude not to, honestly, so here we go. I mean, yeah, I did get out of Wonderland. I still don't know who's the Red Queen, but we escaped. Anyway, we're listening to the Hatter. She seems very smart and trustworthy with her hot hammer. The Hatter's hot hammer. I also love how there's like 6 tea bags in this teapot, and they look to be different types of tea as well. I wonder what that tastes like. I shook my head. Instead of antagonizing the Hatter needlessly, I decided to take another sip of tea. I would see what was inside the box eventually. Let me have a sip of my tea too, and by tea I mean Monster Energy. Maybe I should just pour my Monster like into a teacup for this. No, that's way too much effort. I'm just gonna drink it. The Hatter returned soon enough. In her hand was a hammer, glowing bright with heat. She chucked it to the side with a thump and let the metal sizzle on the ground. What was the hammer for? Does a hammer need a reason to be? Anyways, go ahead and try to find some of the Red Queen's body, an arm, a head, or maybe 2. Just bring them back here for me to attach to this. She pointed to the torso. It'll still be tea time when you come back. Let's just count you as an extra guest for the next tomorrow as well. To be exact with time, now was not tea time. But I suppose there's not much else to do here. I looked at my empty cup of Earl Grey and lifted myself up from the armchair. For what it was worth, I quite enjoyed this odd hour tea. Shaking my legs just to make sure they hadn't fallen asleep, I started to leave. Until later. Auf Wiedersehen! She leaned back into her chair and made a lazy wave my way. Somehow, she looked lonely. I returned to another forest path, walking forward and forward. Oh yeah, I imagine that would actually be quite nice with fruit teas. Yeah, I didn't consider that actually. I was just imagining like breakfast tea and Earl Grey and like weird combinations. But yeah, like fruits and stuff and chamomile. Oh, I bet that would be nice. After moving for a while, I realized that I had no idea where I was going. In simpler words, I was lost. Oh, I got retweeted. Oh, heck yes. I walked around in a few circles before looking upward. Oh, hello. Above, I saw a cat. Hello? Hello, cat? Hi? Hello? A cat who resembled a girl, or a girl who resembled a cat, leisurely stood on the tall branch of a tree. Unlike the white rabbit, this cat, the Cheshire cat, I couldn't help but wonder if she was actually neither a cat nor a girl, and was just pretending to be either. Ha ha ha. I pet. Head pats. Head pats. I met her cat eyes, nodding in silent greeting. Her grin stretched across her face as she stared right back. Sharp teeth filled her mouth and claws adorned her hands. This was probably a cat. I love her already. Cheshire. The flame that was her tail flickered, and she hopped down to meet me closer. I don't suppose you'd tell me which way I should go? I posed a silly question that I expected no answer for. After all, I was asking a cat for directions. Depends on where you want to go. To my surprise, I received a response. To find the Red Queen. Ah, the crazy one. Are you sure you'd prefer not to go with the nice one? The one I'm searching for is the Red Queen. All right, the Mad Queen. Then again, we're all mad around here. That is except for Her Majesty the White Queen. She's too sad to be mad. If you're looking for the Red Queen, up, up, down, down, left, right might help. B.A.? Self-awareness, Alice, self-awareness! The Cheshire Cat vanished into thin air. Soon enough, she reappeared. Just go to the White Queen instead. Maybe you'll find something on the way. She started to fade away again before popping back. I forgot to ask, how's the Hatter doing? She seems to be fine. It's still tea time over there. It's always tea time with that one. A third time she disappeared, leaving a grin lingering in the air before that too vanished. This was a grin without a cat instead of a cat without a grin. The third time was the charm. The cat did not return. I can't say I've seen a cat quite like that before. Then again, Cheshire wasn't really a cat. Walking through a few tree lengths more, I mulled over the odd advice she gave. We are obviously not doing what she said first. Oh wait, there was... Oh... Find the White Queen seems like a sensible thing to do. I want to go up, up, down, down, left, right. Left, right. BA start. I tried to remember just what the Cheshire Cat had said, speaking the pattern of directions aloud to a beat. Up, up, down, down, left, right. I felt as if I had missed a few items, but that was all that the cat had given. I backtracked to the position where I met the cat, and followed the recommended directions. Soon enough, I found myself at a crossroad. I saw no limbs nor heads in sight. Left was labelled right, right was labelled left. With wrongly written signboards, I chose at random where to go next. Every few meters, I found a new sideboard with its own quaintly marked arrow. Whether or not they led to the right place was another issue. I slowed my pace to read the signs and followed them along. Today is a rainy day. I didn't know which genius thought to put a forecast onto a wooden sign on the side of the road, but I followed the direction to go right regardless. The sky had not a drop of rain in sight. Warning, cliff ahead. Cliff, Chan? As it happened, neither was there a cliff ahead. Watch out for dragons. I looked for the dragons, but the dragons did not arrive. Shameful. At some point, the text on the signs turned to insults. Fool. You don't even know who you are. Stop following these signs. How many of these will you read? I walked and walked and walked. At the end of the final sign in the chain, I reached a clearing in the forest where I spotted the White Rabbit talking with a limb. Your Majesty, your Majesty's left arm, please. I blinked. Then I blinked again. Rubbing my eyes, I saw the same image. The White Rabbit seemed just about to prostrate herself to a living, moving arm. The arm, despite being an arm, had taken the higher position. The ground here is dirty. You needn't crawl here. Shall I take you back to the palace, or would you prefer to go to the garden or the courtroom? In fact, do you happen to know where Her Majesty is? Are you okay, Rabbit? The arm smacked the White Rabbit. Oh no! Is that the animal cruelty? Don't do that, arm. Although I silently observed, the arm noticed me and began to crawl over, one handful of grass at a time. It moved like a snake. Like a worm? Like a piece of flesh and bone that shouldn't have been able to move. Its writhing struggle sent a shiver up my spine. I didn't know if I should pick it up or kick it away. I didn't either, and it reached my feet. The arm proceeded to climb up my leg, up my cloak, clinging like some sort of dirty parasite, making its slow way up, until I pushed past my building disgust to hold it in my hand instead. The flesh felt cold in my palm. I sensed no heartbeat at the wrist. Alice, Her Majesty's arm seems to have taken a liking to you. If you find Her Majesty, please return the limb to her, and tell her that her rabbit did her best. I pray she hasn't met any trouble. A limb coming off isn't an everyday occurrence. She made quite the understatement. Yes, of course. How did you know it was the Red Queen's arm? I would recognize Her Majesty's limbs anywhere. Do you admire her very much? Yes, of course. I respect Her Majesty very much.
She united Wonderland into this kingdom and kept peace with a watchful gaze.
Every time I read the word gaze, I giggle. I am a child. I am so immature. Thank you for the hydrate too. Hydrate the cat on visual novel night. Thank you very much. Have both the monster and the water. Gotta look after my voice. Got my drinks.
She united Wonderland into this kingdom and kept peace with a watchful gaze on the criminal populace. She is a decisive ruler and holds an agreeable worldview. This should be her divine right to rule Wonderland.
I've heard a cat call her mad. A dangerous expression flashed through the White Rabbit's eyes for barely a second.
The Cheshire Cat is a known problem element here.
I like her even more.
If Her Majesty is mad, then such madness is, in essence, brilliance. Although I may not always be fated to be a favoured courtier, to be an aid to her is my greatest honour. I cannot be White Rabbit without Her Majesty. Yes, that should be how I view Her Majesty.
I gave the rabbit's impromptu speech a short round of applause, balancing the detached arm in the crook of my elbow. Oh, just like cradling this arm. The rabbit became flustered. She must also like you very much. All rulers had their dissidents and supporters. A certain man once said that a ruler was better feared than loved if she could not be both. Despite all that the White Rabbit said, I knew little more about the Red Queen. The Red Queen is the ruler of all this land? What's your job, White Rabbit?
Yes, she is the highest ruler of Wonderland. I deal with a little bit of everything. Administrative matters, legal matters, and the personal matters of important people.
Since we've met a few times, I could say that I'm important, couldn't I?
That's right, Alice.
I was kidding. To my tepid jest, I received a response that made me pause. The White Rabbit took out a watch and jumped in surprise upon looking at the time, quickly returning the watch to her pocket.
Is it this time already? I'm afraid I must be off again if that will be all. Thank you, Alice.
Hurriedly bowing a few times, she dashed off back to work. Having obtained one limb, I searched around for another. Before I knew it, the day passed. I looked towards the sky where the sun had begun to set. Letting out a yawn, I realized I needed a place to sleep for the night. I thought back to the parties who had helped me on my adventure to gather the Red Queen's dismembered parts. It's just the Hatter. I did not go to see the White Queen again, so I guess I've got one choice here. Surely I could find the Hatter again, right? It's tomorrow, right? I headed back to the Hatter's place. As before, I found her at a table full of tea stuffs. She nursed a cup of tea and waved at me upon spotting me. Just in time for tea, Alice! From the sky, tea time should have already passed. Perhaps this was more like supper time, so I only flashed her a smile without saying anything. Yeah, this music is so good. I love this song as well. Oh, it's so good. It's got just like that perfect amount of whimsical to it. I love it. And now I'm bringing body parts along. It feels... I kind of love the juxtaposition of this, like, gorgeous fantasy whimsical song, and then me walking in like, hi, I've got a dismembered arm. Here you go. One down, 4 parts to go. I've returned with a limb. Congratulations! Congratulations. Congratulations. I handed her the Red Queen's limb, which began to move upon entering the Hatter's hand. Holding it away from herself, the Hatter seemed to think of what to do with it next. She kicked a dog cage out from under a chair. Clicking the metal hatch open, she tossed the limb into it and quickly flipped the cage shut again. Okay. Sit down. I'd be a poor host if I didn't let you sit. I plopped down into the armchair. This is my chair now. I glanced around and found I didn't see the 2 puppets that the Hatter wore on her hands earlier in the day. Where are your friends? I gestured with my hands. I was like, where are your friends? They've gone home for a bit. March lives all the way over there in a house with ears. As for whose ears they are, I haven't a clue. Are you hungry for rodent, Alice? Excuse me? No. If you say so, Alice. She poured me a cup of tea and slid the tea cup and saucer over to me, nearly spilling it over my lap. Soon after came another plate. On the plate was steak and vegetables. I don't know how much I trust that. I gotta say, I don't know how much I trust that. I should hope this isn't rodent, is it? It's something else. The Hatter didn't continue, but glanced over at the Red Queen's flesh. Sorry, I just realized my room started getting really dark. And I was wondering why my room was so dark, and it's because I just didn't turn the light on, even though I thought I already had. There we go. Well, this fills me with confidence. My eyes followed the path of her gaze. Not spotting any steak-sized slabs of meat sliced off from the torso of the queen, I thought. I let out a sigh. That is quite relieving. Taking a knife and fork, I cut the steak and moved a piece to my mouth. It tasted like beef. Compliments to the chef. Why, thank you. We ate together. For a Hatter, her table manners with the forks and knives were impeccable, but each time I thought to compliment them, she went and said something odd again. The Hatter was a mystery to unravel. Oh, I love her. I love this game so much. I don't have a place to stay for the night, so I wanted to ask if you would put up with me for the night? I put up with you all the time! What difference does night make? Where I come from, people sleep at night. Sleep? You can sleep under the table, or spread a blanket on the ground, or just sleep on that armchair you're sitting in now. Isn't sleep just when you pretend to be dead like everyone else? Is this why you don't sleep? The Hatter had terrible bags under her eyes. Oh, me too. As I doubted she slept too much, she could only have been sleeping too little. Look at the time! Is it really time to sleep? Napping at tea time will destroy your inner clock, don't you know? Morning, afternoon, evening, since it's all tea time, it's better not to sleep. I thought you didn't care about time. Honestly relatable. Sleep? Wow, I don't know what that is. Time doesn't care about me. Are you perhaps afraid of sleeping? Oh no. Oh no, my heart. What do you think, Alice? Public service announcement. Cutie detected at 12 o'clock direction of screen for viewers. Cosmic Kitten, hello, welcome. Welcome to the stream. I'm getting emotional about Hatter now. I just went in like, oh, this wacky, kooky character, and now I'm just like, this is too relatable. Oh no. Oh dear. But hello, welcome to the stream. I am doing wonderfully. I'm playing a horror novel at the moment. Horror visual novel with cute girls. I'm going to post the command for the content warning again because this game has very dark themes. It is a horror game, so I want everyone to be aware of that before sticking around, because I know it's not everyone's cup of tea. See, here I'm talking about tea again with the Hatter. It's just tea time all the time. But honestly, this game is incredible so far. I'm going to have so much fun going back and picking the other options too. She poured herself a drink from a bottle into her teacup. I turned to look at the bottle, which was in no way for tea. I couldn't read the jumbled words scrawled across its label, so I couldn't help but ask. I know how to pick them, yeah. It looks so cool, and honestly playing it, I'm like, it is so cool. And I'm so glad I started playing it. But yes, Who is the Red Queen? It's actually free on Steam as well. So if you see me playing it and you want to play it yourself, you can get it for free. You might as well. Might as well give it a download. Support the devs, because it is so well made as well. Listen to this music. I kind of just want the soundtrack as well. Is that actually alcohol? Tea! Isn't it alcohol? Tea! She drank her tea, and I did mine. The conversation turned to silence. I shouldn't have pushed and upset my dear host. I wanted to pet her head and apologize, for she could drink or sleep as she wanted. Pet, pet, pet. Pet, pet, pet. Pet, 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 pet. Pet, pet. As I reached out, the Hatter recoiled. Oh no. No, I'm sorry. She pushed her chair back from the table, taking the chance to move away. Then she dipped underneath the tablecloth, rummaging through her stuff with a rustling noise. When she popped back out, she held a blanket, which she tossed my way. Didn't you want to pretend to be dead right now? Go. Go. Play dead. She's sulking. No. Catching it in my arms, I smelled a sweet scent from the soft blanket. Head pats for me, head pats for Hatter. Although I guess I'm, like, head patting the hat. The sky was dark. I started to feel sleepy, hugging the blanket a little tighter. I had experienced a long day after all, so perhaps it was time to go to bed. I know, she looks so sad. I just want to give her a hug. I just want to give her a hug. Good night, Hatter. What inappropriate confetti. I love it. I wondered if she was mad. Oh, I wondered if she was mad, angry mad, if she would respond, but she did. Good night, Alice. I leaned back comfortably into the armchair and began to sink. Sinking, sinking, sinking. Contrary to my earliest expectations, I didn't keep sinking forever. The moment I looked up at the sky, I found I couldn't fall asleep anymore. That is such a pretty sky. Oh, look at that. Oh, that's my star. That's my star. I'm claiming that star. I didn't recognize the stars, the constellations that adorned the dark heavens, tracing their infinite sparkles. I wondered who they stood for. Oh, I bet they all stand for a different character. Like, that's gonna be like the Red Queen. I'm stuck. Never mind. I wanted to understand what was hidden past those mismatched eyes of the Hatter. While counting the stars, I eventually fell asleep. I dreamed of falling. The next day and the day after, I continued my search for the Red Queen's parts. I'm just like, yeah, that's it. Red Queen, Blue Queen, kinda greeny queen, a different greeny queen. Although I've got to say, I feel so proud. The amount of people who have seen things that are pink and teal and have taken a photo and sent it to me and been Lirie colors. It makes me so happy every time it happens. Like, if someone sees pink and teal and thinks of me, that is like the highest compliment I could ever imagine. I love it. Yeah, the next day and the day after, I continued my search for the Red Queen's parts. Remembering that the Cheshire Cat mentioned the White Queen, I decided to give the Queen a second visit. I thought that I could easily replicate the route to her garden, having only recently been there. However, the more I walked, the more apparent it became that I was lost. I passed that tree to the right a handful of times already. I was going in circles, going nowhere closer to that beautiful garden and its equally pretty owner. Man, Alice is damn bad for the White Queen, huh? There's like something pink and teal appears. It's like,
Hello? Lirie colors?
ah, well, I let out a sigh and chose a bush at random to walk through instead of following a path. My cloak saved me from being scratched by the leaves and branches of the bushes. I came out on the other side to a particularly tall tree and a large bird cage. Bird? Wait, hello?
I spotted the White Queen inside the birdcage. Behind her was a limb, a leg. Hello? We meet again, Alice. I hadn't expected that I would be trapped here again. I'm a little embarrassed that you're seeing me like this.
I contemplated just asking for the leg and leaving. That is rude. That is rude, Alice. No, that would be a terribly foul thing to do, especially to a pretty person like her. Look, it would be foul even if she wasn't pretty. Come on, Alice, please. Well, I guess I can't really say anything. I'm the one walking around going like, girl's pretty. Although, in a way, it almost seemed like a good idea to leave a pretty bird locked up in a cage all for oneself. No, Alice. I smell a bad end coming. After all, how would you catch her if you let her go free? Oh, this is like serial killer sounding now. Is that the Red Queen's right leg?
So it would appear. To find the Red Queen, you may have to find her parts as well. Even so, she should be able to help you find your way back home. I'm sorry, Alice.
Don't apologize.
The key to my prison is atop the towering tree. Would you help me open this cage, Alice?
Yes, of course. Yes, of course. Turn around. Among Us imposter sound, please. Agreeing to the request, I walked over to the tall tree that the White Queen gestured toward. How tall it was, I couldn't say. If I angled my head and squinted, I could see the glimmering of a silver key at a high branch above. Yeah, I'd just be like, oh, don't apologize. I'm just gonna take the leg and get out of here. You know, this is just gonna head off now. Have fun. I circled the tree, the front and the back, the sides left and right. They all looked equally hard to climb. It's a shame I don't have a Cheshire Cat right now, huh? Burb! Burb! Pink Burb.
Hello? Hello?
As I pondered on how to scale the tree, a little bird approached. Please don't let anything happen to this bird. I'm gonna be so sad.
Chap, chap.
I can't do bird noises. I guess. With all of the talking animals and not quite animals in Wonderland, I had an inkling that this one might speak as well. Perhaps it spoke French like a French bird. What? Bonjour? Bonjour. Unfortunately, I knew little French. My practice had grown rusty, so much that the tutors would be ashamed, but I tried to pull out at least one more phrase. Bonjour. Je m'appelle Alice. It's so funny because the only phrase coming to my head now is just... I was trying to think of like how to say I am whatever years old in French, and my brain turned it to German halfway through, and I don't know why. They don't even sound similar. But my brain is just sat here going, Je suis 12 Jahre alt, which is I am in French and then 12 years old in German. Like, what kind of path is my brain going on? I have no idea.
Où est ma chat? Chat? Would it be chat?
Because it doesn't end with the T, so I'd pronounce the T right. I am so bad at French. Because I know if it's just like this, blocking it off, that's just chat. But with like the feminine form, would it be chat? I don't know. Ah! Oh no, we scared the bird. Don't talk about cats with a bird. I must have said the wrong words as the poor bird began to tremble. Parlez-vous anglais?
Yes, chap, chap. Cats? No cats, please.
Oh, it's okay, I've got a hood. You can't see my ears. I'm not cat, it's okay.
What are you doing? Chap, chap.
I'm trying to get that key up there. What are you doing, little bird?
Just having lots of fun every day. Not doing anything in particular. now that the Red Queen, I mean Her Majesty, is missing, Wonderland is so much more wonderful. We can play and frolic as we want. Chirp, chirp. Auntie Bird got in trouble for breaking Her Majesty's laws, and now there's no more Auntie Bird. Chirp, chirp. I was so sad, so sad.
Oh no. Oh dear.
Her Majesty was so scary, so scary. You won't tell me, right, Chirp? Chirp, chirp. You look like a nice person, Chirp. Much nicer than her, much nicer than her.
Oh, I see.
I'll help you with the key, Chirp.
Puffing out its little chest, the bird flapped its wings and took off upward into the sky. It flew and flew and flew, but soon enough became tired. Not reaching the key on the tree, the bird faltered and fluttered back down. Oh, it's okay, little bird, you are only small.
Frederica. Un, deux, trois.
Oh my goodness, feel embarrassed how long it took you to figure out what universe the game's set in. Oh. Yeah, it's a bit more apparent if you've seen it from the beginning, as all of the characters were being introduced. But yes, this is very much an Alice in Wonderland themed game, but with a horror twist and also girls. It dipped its head in disappointment. No, it's okay. It's okay.
Sorry, I couldn't do it, Chirp.
Oh my god! Excuse me, wait, no, I don't want to do this. No! I wanted to pick all of the options, but I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. Oh no! I've got to. I'm determined. I'm doing all of the options. I'm determined. You know what? If anyone wants to skip this part, I will write safe in chat when I'm done with whatever's going on here. So if anyone does not want to witness what's about to happen, I will let you know when it's safe. I'm sorry, I'm a cat. This is awful. This is awful. The more it chirped, the worse its voice grated on my ears. I picked up the bird in my hand, thinking I should shut it up. You shouldn't offer things you can't accomplish.
Chirp?
No. Oh no, 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 don't look, don't look, don't look. No. Oh no, this is the worst possible time for a raid. Hello. Don't look at the screen. Don't look. Don't look. Don't look. Nothing's happening. Nothing's happening. It's fine. Oh my god. Cassie, hello. Thank you for the raid. Oh my god, what a moment. What timing? That could not have been timed any worse. Oh my goodness. Hello, thank you so much for the raid. Welcome. Oh my, you know what? I deserve to get things thrown at me. I deserve that. Throw them at me. Usually so wholesome. What happened? Look, it's October, so I was like, I'm gonna play some horror games. But that was a very unfortunate moment to join at. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for the raid though. For anyone who's new here, hello. I'm Lirie. I'm a pink-haired cat girl from the UK, and I promise I am not usually like this. I'm usually just here for the comfy vibes. We're just having a nice comfy time. But this is a Yuri visual novel based around Alice in Wonderland. And it's a horror game. There are many content warnings. I will share them for anyone who's new here to check out, so please be warned. Usually it's just arson, excuse you. No. Arson has to be intentional fire setting. And I will stand by that forever. We're just having a murder, yeah. Anyway, thank you for the dictionary narration as well, Kanan. I guess dictionary time. Let's open it at B. You know what? I was gonna flick through to the word bird, but I opened it, and the word that it's on is bloodbath. I just opened my dictionary to a random page, and the first thing I saw was bloodbath. Oh no, this is... What happened to my lovely, comfy say-so image? What's happening? Anyway, bloodbath, a noun, an event in which many people are killed violently. You're welcome. The content warning after the content, I know. It's like, it literally could not have been... I kind of want to say more perfectly timed, but it was terribly timed. Nightmare. But no, thank you so much for the raid either way, though. Thank you so much. I hope the Rainbow Six went well as well. Hope you got many wins. But yeah, thank you so much for bringing your community over here. I'm so sorry that was the introduction you guys get. But yes, this is a Yuri visual novel, which for anyone who doesn't know what that means, it means girls liking girls. The good stuff. But yeah, thank you so much for the raid though. Please don't feel obligated to stick around if you're tired after your stream, but if you want to enjoy some more bird murder, hopefully there's not more bird murder. I didn't want to do this in the first place. I was just like, whenever I play a visual novel, I'm determined to get all of the options and all of the endings. So as soon as this option came up with just like kill the bird, I was like, I hate this. I've got to click it. Also, Q, hello, welcome. Welcome to horror time. Yeah, me seeing the choice, I think I just short-circuited. I was like, hold on. It was just so unexpected. It was so unexpected, even for a game with this much horror. Like, so far, we're in Wonderland. We have to find the Red Queen. The Red Queen, we found her torso, and we have to collect her limbs. Even in a game like that, I was still shocked at the bird decision. But yeah, this game is incredible so far, though. I guess we're gonna go back to the bird murder. Birder. Uh-oh. Anyway, without thinking, I squeezed the bird in my hand. I can't believe that was the moment of the raid, though. That was so perfectly timed. Thank you so much. Right, let's... It let out a strangled cry and pecked at any skin it could hit, squirming and wriggling before it went still between my fingers. No! Now my palm was dirty, dripping with bird. No! Oh, God. I shook my hand as if that would help get rid of some of the filth, and wiped the rest off with a handkerchief that I surely had to throw away. Hi. Oh no. After the failed first attempt at the key, I returned to the White Queen's side. Thank you. Oh, thank you for the clip. Thank you so much. I'm so glad that was clipped. Oh, need to go to bed. That is absolutely understandable. I know it's super late for you. Thank you so much for raiding me, though. I hope you managed to rest well. Please, don't dream about birds. It'll be good. Thank you so much. My brain is short-circuited now. I've forgotten how to say words. I need more monster. Can you imagine just going up to the bird cage and just being like, I tried to get a bird to get the key, but it didn't, so I killed it. Anyway, now I'm gonna keep you in this cage so that you don't also die, okay? Yeah, good. Yeah, you can just live in the cage. I'll bring some plushies. It can be like amnesia. It'll be great. She looked fitting in the cage. Pretty, like a flower preserved forever in glass. Again, I thought that she was beautiful. This is gonna go full yandere, isn't it? I can see it. Really. She was beautiful. That's true, Alice. Even so, I couldn't let her stay trapped, not to mention the Red Queen's leg. I wasn't able to find a way up. Do you have any ideas for what I should do, White Queen? Over there are some mushrooms. If you eat the ones to the left, you will grow. If you eat the ones to the right, you will shrink. I think they will be helpful. Magic mushrooms? Sign me up. I was hesitant to eat mushrooms picked from unknown wilderness, but I felt that I could trust the White Queen. Why? I didn't know. Well, this is Wonderland, isn't it? I had forgotten something important. The feeling of forgetting tingled in the back of my mind whenever I saw the White Queen. Yeah, whenever I see the White Queen, my head goes empty because pretty girl. Finding the mushroom she pointed out, I faced a choice. Do I grow or do I shrink? So you gotta let me think. Should I grow or should I shrink? See, the obvious thing here is to grow so that I can reach the key at the top of the tree. But I feel like it would be funny to shrink, so I'm gonna shrink. Then I can sneak into the cage. Eating the mushroom from the right, I immediately began to shrink. The world around me swelled in size. I became tiny, so tiny I could disappear. Before I could look around, a gust of strong wind blew me from my feet. I picked myself back up to my feet and saw a monstrous bird before me. Oh no. Is it bird revenge time? Looming over my body with a great shadow. No, I had been the one who shrank, so the bird was not monstrous. I was simply diminished. Instead of face of choice, does he kill mushroom? The ground trembled as it stepped towards me, as if to step on me. I rolled just out of the way.
Chirp, you killed her.
Why am I giving Big Bird this voice? What kind of voice does Big Bird from Sesame Street have? I genuinely cannot remember. I don't know. It's fine. Who again?
Sheep.
My unintentionally voiced question was a mistake. Don't even remember the birds I'm killing? Wow. What a monster. The bird lunged at me. I made a mad dash out the way, just barely avoiding the hurtling mass that came my way. Just as I gasped to catch my breath, its clawed foot slammed down on me. A talon pierced through my shoulder. I heard bone crack. The bird grabbed me and threw me like a ragdoll to the ground again, forcing the air out of my lungs. Pushing down on the screaming pain in my body, I focused on my racing heart and tried to get away, only to be hit by the bird again. I bit through my tongue in shock and choked out a mouthful of spit and blood. Its beak snapped around one arm and tore. Rip. The bird crushed down on my leg and pulled. Next went the other leg. This is what you get! Yes, this is what I get. This is what I deserve here. Well, 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 if it isn't the consequences of my own actions. It screamed with a mouthful of my blood, chucking my limbs across the grass. My remaining arm extended forward to grab the ground and try to get away. My consciousness spun. I didn't know which way I was going. I just needed to get away. I needed to drag this body away somewhere. Everything turned so cold already. I was going to die. I was going to die. The bird stepped on me with all of its weight. Ah! Thank you for the hydrate. Oh, the sound effects are really adding to this experience. I love this. The bird stepped on me with all of its weight and with three vicious stabs, chopped off the last arm into a pulp. Crack. Squelch. This bird was a monster. But really, who was the monster first? I twisted my neck to look at the thing that would kill me. I was going to kill this thing if I had a chance. With one thrust, its beak gored through my head. Splat. I deaded! Death 2! Nice. 20% seen. Nice. Right, well that went well. This is still on bird murder path, but I'm gonna try and grow this time. Because I'm really curious. Wait, I'm really curious as what would happen there if I don't kill the bird and then I shrink. But I feel like killing the bird is just gonna lock me onto bad end anyway. So I kind of want to keep going along this path and then I'll go back afterwards. So let's grow now. Let's be big. Big. I ate a left mushroom and immediately began to grow. My line of sight rose higher and higher as if I were a bean sprout. Once I stopped growing, I could reach the top of the towering tree if I reached out my arm. Fantastically, my clothes grew with me. Oh, to get 100%, need to turn on image captions in the settings. Oh, I see. Oh, I might do that afterwards then. I might just go through and like skip text, but with image captions on to get the 100%, because I'm a completionist. I like the big numbers. But thank you for letting me know. Fantastically, my clothes grew with me. I cautiously pinched the silver key and removed it from the tree, holding it lightly so as not to break it with my now giant hands. My huge, lumbering meat slabs. The key I now had, but the cage I could not open. I was much too big.
The magic will wear off. In the meanwhile, would you accompany me to chat, Alice?
That may be for the best. Yeah, let's talk. You come here often? So I like long walks on the beach. I would have to wait until I reverted back to my original size to open the door. Is the invitation for tea sometimes still open?
Yes, always.
Then shall I ask about what sort of foods and tea you like to drink to see what I might expect? What's your favourite tea?
White tea. Do you prefer black tea still?
How did you know? We chatted for a while about tea, and at some point the conversation turned to flowers. Perhaps it was that she felt ambivalently on floral teas.
You're welcome to visit the garden any time.
I couldn't find the way to the garden today. Perhaps getting lost had been for the better, as I found her in the end.
Yes, that happens when I'm not there, but Wonderland should lead you my way if you think of me. At least for you, Alice.
Oh? Oh, hello?
I have nowhere to be but the garden.
She paused, looking at something in the distance that I could not see.
Would you believe me if I told you I can see the future?
I looked her in the eyes and ascertained a calm surety. I didn't feel that she would lie, yet I couldn't quite believe her words either. I wondered what I had forgotten, what I was doubting. Rather than answer, I decided to play along. Can you change the future you see?
Why do you ask?
Otherwise, isn't it lonesome?
I don't believe that the future is predestined, but the solitude of such a power would also be the fate of a queen in this world.
Her words sounded contradictory. Even for the Red Queen?
Especially for the Red Queen.
The White Queen spoke of fate as if still trapped by something more than just this birdcage. I couldn't understand. We talked a little longer. I felt a tingling up my arms and began to revert to my usual size. The world warped and finally popped back into its proper place. Did it also jump back? And pop back? Are we dropping? I'm so sorry. I think my brain is broken. I twirled around to check that all was well. Identifying no issues, I picked up the key that I dropped to the ground at some point and inserted it into the lock of the White Queen's birdcage. With a smooth click, the cage unlocked. I opened the door. Hello? Hi! The White Queen stumbled out of the birdcage. Her legs still wobbly from sitting in the cage for so long. She let me hold her steady till she rebalanced herself.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I ought to return to the garden now, but my invitation is always open, Alice. I'll see you later if you're willing.
I got a leg! A leggy. She handed me the Red Queen's leg. Freed from the birdcage, the White Queen departed to return to her garden. After wandering around some more, I returned to the Hatter's place with the second limb in hand. The day came to an end, but the Hatter's clock remained at tea time. Right, so I've got a limb from the White Rabbit. I've got one from the White Queen. I know the Hatter has the head through no reason. I wonder if Cheshire Cat has a limb. Interesting. The day came to an end, but the Hatter's clock remained at tea time. She was arguing with her own hand puppet about some sort of song, some rendition of Twinkle Twinkle. The hair on her hand was flung back and forth. I waited it out, seeing as she started laughing by herself halfway through. Apparently, she couldn't sing. Once her shoulders stopped shaking, the Hatter turned to me. Alice, you voyeur! I see you brought a second one. That one is 1, and this one is 2. Good work. The Hatter clapped her wrists half a dozen times.
Alice, won't you join us for tea again today? Hatter made scones.
It has butter. Thank you for the invitation, Dormouse. I'm playing along with her. She's happy. Upon my response to the Dormouse, she immediately brightened up. Oh, I just want to give her a big hug. I love her. I love her so much. If this would make the Hatter happy, I didn't see why not just play along. Leg. Leggy. Setting aside her puppet friends, she extended an open palm towards me. I proceeded to commit les majestés? I don't know what that means. I don't know French, I'm sorry. By tossing the limb over the Hatter's tea table to her. I took a seat in my armchair, seeing her clumsily catch it in her arms. At my seat, there was already a cup of tea prepared. With her free hand, the Hatter opened up the dog cage and retrieved the other limb. Do you need any help with that? A French term meaning to do wrong to Majesty. Oh, that makes a lot of sense. So I would guess throwing a queen's leg over the table would be quite disrespectful to the monarchy, huh? Do you need any help with that? I have everything under control. Without another pause, the Hatter stuck the limbs onto the Red Queen's torso. Ooh! So she has an arm and a leg now. The flesh sounded with a squelch as the muscle, skin, and bone began to knit into place. Still, a red line remained where the limbs connected. I took a bite of a scone. Scone? How do you guys pronounce? Scone. Scone? I don't even know how I pronounce it myself, honestly. It's just like, if someone offers me a scone, then I will say scone. If someone offers me a scone, I will say scone. I don't like have a set way of saying it. I just adapt to the other person, I guess. As the Hatter said, it had butter. The Red Queen's incomplete body twitched, something squirming under the skin. Oh, I don't like that. Scone. Oh, I still remember having a conversation with my family about, like, scone or scone, and my brother put forward the genius argument that it should actually be pronounced swan. Swan. Bear with me here. You do the SC like science, so the C is silent, and then it's the word one, so it's just swan. It makes perfect sense, right? Right? That's how you pronounce it, right? Oh no. That's exactly what I said when he came out with it, but I kind of love it. I spread some clotted cream and jam onto the swan. The perfect blend of sweetness made me wonder where she got the jam. It was very red. Heading off to bed now. Oh, Cosmic Kitten, thank you so much for stopping by. Oh, that's so sweet as well. Anyone who sees this post, you are worth it. You are indeed talented. You are special to one person. At least. You have family who care. You can do whatever it is you're striving for. You have become stronger. You have supporters. Most importantly, you're loved by many. That's really sweet. Oh, thank you so much. I hope you sleep well. Thank you for the hydrate as well, Addie. I will have a sip of my drinks. A sip of my quote-unquote tea. Yes, this is definitely a can of tea. Also, I guess Monster have started doing another Apex Legends campaign too, because all of my Monster cans now have Apex codes printed on them. And like a bunch of codes on the ring pulls. Maybe I should start playing Apex just to redeem all of the codes I have and then just never actually play the game. Oh, thank you so much. Oh, that means a lot. I'm so glad you like it here. Always happy to have you here. I hope you sleep well, though. Ow! The single arm grabbed at the Hatter, smacking as it squirmed. The Hatter kicked the incomplete Red Queen. Rendering the limbed hunk of meat paralyzed with shock, the Hatter forced its limbs off. Okay, that didn't last very long. A bit of blood and something else dripped onto the ground. Gripping the writhing limbs in her hands, the Hatter popped open the dog cage door with her feet and chucked them in. With a thud, into the cage the arm and leg went. Good swans. Thank you. I'm just gonna keep calling them swans now. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. You mentioned you also had some business with the Red Queen, Hatter, but what is it? Something to do with red, something to do with flesh. I realized that I didn't quite know. A personal matter, Alice. I'd prefer if you don't pry. I was the one gathering the pieces, so of course I wanted to know. Then again, the Hatter could just as well put the course together. Course? Courses how to undismember a body. Remember? Remember the bob... Wait, Oh no, my internet is blipping. Hello? Internet, are you back? Hello? That was weird. My internet just started being awful for no reason. Huh. I think it's okay again now. I think it's okay. Very strange. But I think it was mostly just in, like, dropping frames, so it might have buffered for a bit. But because this isn't like a everything moving all of the time on screen, it probably doesn't make that much of a difference. Just maybe a little bit stuttery. Who knows? But it seems okay now, so... Thanks, Virgin Media. I love it. Anyway, how to undismember or remember a corpse. Because I was just thinking, like, what is the opposite of dismember? Wait, it's probably just member? Would it just be member? Hold on. I'm getting my dictionary out for this. What's the opposite of dismember? Can there even be an opposite? I guess you can't really put the limbs back on usually. I'm looking up dismember in my dictionary. Distraught, dissonant, disrupt, disposal, dismember. There isn't another term for it. It's just dismember and dismemberment. There isn't a reverse term. Okay, well, I know now. I vote remember. We're going to remember the torso. Then again, the Hatter could just as well put the corpse together herself. A better question was how she obtained that first chunk of meat, but I doubted she would answer. I was curious. After all, not every Hatter keeps the Red Queen's dismembered body at their table, much less treats it like you do. The White Rabbit is searching for the Red Queen right now, you see. And the Red Queen is right here. Yeah, Middle English from Old French dismember. Just like limbs apart. It makes sense. A very literal meaning. So the member would be the limb. I have heard member as a term for like things. I don't know. Brain cells whirring. The single brain cell is not sure what's happening. Yeah, brain cell not working. Let's go back to the Hatter. Also, Moonraj, hello, welcome to the stream. And the Red Queen is right here. At least part of her was.
No one likes the White Rabbit. Why didn't you tell her, Alice?
Well, I didn't feel like it. The white rabbit was boring. Wow. Wow. Okay. I had the feeling that telling her anything about the corpse sitting with us wouldn't help me much. You've saved me from the dungeon! In that dark, dank place, a hat's not enough for the cold. Dungeons here aren't for keeping, but for killing. I see. Let's commit lèse majesté together. Surely the Red Queen will forgive us for piecing her together. I much preferred this Mad Hatter. No, Alice! This is much closer to blasphemy. We have no choice but to beg the wrathful god for forgiveness, don't you know? I couldn't help but think of Osiris, the judge of the dead, cut to pieces by his own brother. Even a god king, rather a god queen, could be chopped up and rendered helpless. The tutors would be proud of me for remembering. Is that so? It'll be good working with you, Hatter. I offered a hand to shake. Seeing her hesitation, I expected her to reject my outstretched hand, but she instead grabbed my finger with an expression filled with uncertainty. I thought that she would try to pull my finger off. However, she only gripped me weakly and shook it up and down before letting go once more. She was a bit gloomier for the time after. Oh no. Oh no, could she tell that I killed the bird with this hand? Is this the hand of a bird killer? Just look down at my hand and it's like, this is the hand of a bird killer. Don't touch me. Night fell and another day ended. Oh, the stars are blue. What did I dream of? I must have forgotten. Only 2 more limbs and a head remained. I continued on my adventure to collect the Red Queen so that I could finally meet her and find a way back home. Step, step, step. I walked around this upside-down world. In between my explorations of Wonderland, I chatted with the Hatter and she made a certain inquiry. What do you want to go back to at home? What indeed? Alice, what was waiting for you at home? I counted off my fingers. 2 sisters, 2 cats, a large empty home, books and tutors. With my sisters, Lirie and Edie, I was not particularly close. The older Lorena and the younger Edith, intelligent Lorena, and precocious Edith, they seemed to live in their own world apart from Alice. I preferred the cats, a white cat and a black cat. The former was cute, a little beauty like the White Queen, and the latter a little devil. Oh, it reminds me of I saw a video the other day that was like, anyone who has 2 cats will have the following, and then it's like, number 1, the perfect angel, a lovely fluffy lump, I give you snuggles, I have a lovely time, you are beautiful, you're an angel. And then the second, a menace, a nightmare, chaos, a small gremlin. And I love it. See, I only have 1 cat, so she just ends up being a mixture of both. Sometimes she is so lovely and adorable, my little Tiffany, my lovely cat. Sometimes she is so snuggly and nice, and then she will just suddenly get the Noomies at 4 a.m. and start screaming downstairs. She's good. I love her. As for the books, our library seemed endless. We had so many books that I could drown. Maybe a pile had collapsed on me and I was dying, suffocating under the pages so terribly that I fell into Wonderland. The tutors would be so mad that the books were ruined. I winced at a phantom stinging the back of my legs. The poor ruler, I could already see it go red. That was my world. A boring, normal, plain world, where animals didn't talk and corpses didn't move, where I hadn't needed to think of much at all. I was Alice, and that place was Alice's place. I fiddled with my fingers, grasping for the correct expression to wear. A smile was always safe. I'll be off then. Step, step, step. I traversed about this place, which was not Alice's place, my place. Ho ho. I was walking around, searching for clues for where the next limbs or even head could be, when I heard the sound of conversation. I followed the noise and found the oddest pair. A rabbit and a cat. Is Gigi still here? Ask the Hatter.
What? Hatter? That Mad Hatter? She's more cuckoo than the bird. A real nuisance. The only silver lining is how now that rat and hare are out the way, she's become more of a recluse. My ears are still ringing from that time we had to pull peasants off the street to sing for royal guests. The courts have stopped working. The kingdom's falling into anarchy. We've got filth on the ground left and right.
What on earth? Hello. Up and down, too.
Shut up, you damn cat. You fucking criminal pretending to be a cat. If we weren't so busy, I'd send the cards to chain you up and throw you back into the dungeons where you belong.
Scary threats from a rabbit.
Listen up. Your name is still on top of the list for execution, cat. Don't think you can do whatever you want. Now I've got to...
Alice. The white rabbit made a puking sound. The blood drained from her face when she met my eyes. Oh, didn't want me to hear that, huh? Huh, different side to you, huh? Huh? Hello? Did I interrupt a conversation?
No, not at all. Hello, Alice. I hope we weren't too loud. The cat and I were just making some small talk. How have you been?
Well enough. And you?
Well enough as well.
Well, what about me? Well, are you well? It depends. I'm Cat. The cat's punchline met silence. Are you two friends?
No.
Yes.
Our circles rarely overlap. We only happen to meet and talk today by coincidence.
I'm hurt, Bunny. I thought we were friends.
Cheshire Cat, please refrain from giving me unsolicited nicknames.
Bunny? You two seem to get along. No, not really. They didn't seem to get along at all. I just liked how the white rabbit thought that she could lie straight to my face about what they were talking about before. I love this. I did not expect this side of the white rabbit. I am intrigued here. Lie. That was what the Queen's courtiers ought to do. Hilarious. After a short three-way chat, the white rabbit pulled me to the side for a private conversation.
I have an invitation for you, Alice.
The white rabbit reached into her coat, retrieving an envelope from an inner pocket. She held it out to me.
The Duchess has invited you to her endless party. If you're interested in attending, it is and will always be held at her manor.
I took the outstretched invitation. When is it?
On and on and on, indefinitely. Ever since Her Majesty has gone missing, the Duchess has been holed up in her manor, holding a grand ball day and night.
Wow, that sounds like a lot of work.
If I didn't know better, I would
think that she was celebrating. Oh, heaven forbid anyone do that.
But she wouldn't be so foolish.
I see. Thank you for the invitation. Tracing an oddly familiar wax seal upon the envelope, I fiddled with the invitation in my hand. I wondered where I had seen it before.
I live to serve, Alice. What a relief! A burden has lifted off my shoulders now that this invitation is delivered. If it pleases you to attend, I hope you have an enjoyable time. The Duchess certainly knows how to throw parties. And the nobility of Wonderland, how to party.
I tucked the invitation away. Is there anything else?
No, that is all. I won't bother you any further. Please excuse me, Alice, and have a nice day.
Bowing her head a few times, she made her way away and soon was out of sight. And off she goes. We were talking about something too. That white rabbit, she only cares about the Mad Queen. I've got a little secret about the Red Queen. Just a bit of gossip. Do you want to hear? Certainly. Oh, spill the tea, sis. I am here for it. I was in a bit of a stump trying to find the rest of the Red Queen. The first 2 pieces came along quite easily, as if delivered on a silver platter, but now I had to find some more clues. I waited for the cat to speak again, glancing at her flickering tail. She gestured for me to come closer. When I moved in, she flicked me sharply on the forehead, causing me to recoil in surprise and stumble back. I never said I would say. Try finding me later, Alice. Oh, I love her. Before I could respond to her provocation, she disappeared into thin air, leaving a grin floating before me for a short moment more. That is, if you can. Catch me if you can. With a flicker, the grin too vanished. What did the rabbit call her again, Alice? I ran my fingers through my bangs and sighed. Looking around, I was alone on my search again. Ooh, decisions. Ooh. Feel like the party's probably a good lead, but I want to search for Cheshire. Catch me if you can. That sounds like an invitation to me. I couldn't leave the cat's matter alone. Thinking of her taunting flick, I had no idea where she could be, for she always appeared and disappeared as she pleased. I had a quick chat with the Hatter to find out. Oh, you're so good. Are you acquainted with the Cheshire Cat?
Cheshire? She's scary.
Always stays up in the trees.
She's usually around the northern end of the forest. The cat always says she has business, so she can't stay for tea. Even though I never invited her. Yes, we're acquaintances, but definitely not friends. If you're looking for that cat, don't bring her back here. We're low on seats as it is. Next thing you know, you'll have to be chopped up to fit in a teapot. Ta-ta. The trio of one gave me a jaunty wave. Taking the Hatter's words, I started off to explore the forest's north. I wandered down many twists and turns, stumbling across uneven ground. The path was rougher here, and the foliage thicker. I found not another living being in sight, no cats nor others. After a while, I reached a place with 2 signs pointing opposite directions. One read cliff, and the other not a cliff. I let out a chuckle that they were straightforward enough signs, but I couldn't see where they led past bushes blocking beyond their arrows. Dingling. The ring of a small bell entered my ears, followed by the clatter of metal shackles. Cheshire Cat? I received no response. Accompanying me here was only the breeze that would sometimes hit the leaves of, the trees around me. Akira, thank you for the hydrate. I will have a sip. Also, Mama Petra, hello. Have a sip. Thank you for the head pat too. Welcome. Welcome to Body Part Finder. I'm playing a horror game. We're looking for body parts. It's a wonderful time. But hello, how's it going? And you are so welcome. I'm so glad I got the chance to, because we don't usually stream at similar times. So I saw you were online and I was like, I know what I want to do. But welcome. I hope you're doing well. I heard a soft rustling noise, but when I looked toward the sound, I saw nothing. I tilted my head to look further upward and... oh. The world shifted. Ooh. The air was pushed out my lungs. A black and orange blur crashed down on me with great momentum from the sky, slamming me to the ground. Excuse me? Hello? If my head had hit a different way, my skull would have been a cracked egg on the ground. I moved just in time to harshly bang my shoulder instead. I thought I'd get it done in one shot. The blur, the Cheshire Cat, filled my spinning field of view. She wrapped both hands around my neck, digging in with her sharp nails. Excuse me? No. Her
Her left arm flickered in and out of existence as if it wasn't really there, creating an unbalanced pressure around my throat. Her grip tightened, drawing blood. Oh god, is this because I killed the bird? Oh no, my internet. Come back. Internet, come back. There we go. Is this because of the bird? I bet it's because of the bird. I couldn't breathe. She squeezed even tighter. I tried to pry her fingers off with my own. My twitching hands clawed at her constricting grip and even scratched my own neck. More than the pain of the flesh wounds, I was going lightheaded from the lack of air. I just barely forced her off my neck. I wheezed, coughing to catch a breath. Saraya, hello, welcome. Yeah, honestly, I'm kind of seeing it that way. I'm just like, anything bad that happens now, I'm like, is this because of the bird? Oh, she grabbed my collar, grip on the left flickering in and out, and slammed me back to the ground after lifting me up a little. What? I couldn't even ask why she was doing this as vertigo overwhelmed me. Kicking and flailing randomly, I managed to push her off for a moment. I had to reorient myself, get to my feet, just roll away from her somehow. Which way? I feel like not a cliff is going to be a cliff. Or maybe cliff. I'm rolling to cliff. I tumbled through the bushes in the direction labeled as a cliff. The signs around here had nonsense written on them many times more than not. As I expected, my chosen direction had no cliff in sight. You know what? I'm going back. I'm choosing not a cliff because I feel like that might be a bad end. Not that I would go for the bad ends on purpose, but... Yeah, I'm playing a visual novel at the moment. It's called Who is the Red Queen? It's actually a free visual novel that you can get on Steam. You can download it for free and play it yourself, but yeah, I'm making some very questionable decisions. But yes, I'm going for not a cliff. I tumbled through bushes, rolling in the direction the sign said was not a cliff. As I made good distance from the cat, I felt the ground disappear underneath me. Whoosh. It was all air below me. I thought that might happen. Uh-oh. In a desperate flail, I grabbed onto a rock on the cliffside with one hand. I should have expected this from Wonderland. My injured shoulder throbbed. As I tried to use that arm's hand for a second point on the cliff, I found that I couldn't pull my weight with that side. My uninjured side barely clung on. The rock dug into my flesh and my fingers creaked. A trickle of blood started down my palm. The rock as well shuddered as a hairline fracture showed itself. Uh-oh. I tried to find a foothold with my legs, but even the slightest swing could throw me downward to my demise. With the angle of the cliff, I had no way to try. I winced. Still here? The Cheshire Cat looked down on me. Pacing back and forth, she pretended to contemplate what to do next while her shoulders shook with mirth. I squeezed my eyes shut to try to block out my dizziness. Why are you doing this? I had a bit of a revelation that Wonderland was mad, that's all. You and I were all mad. We both seem to have forgotten something very important. Even now, I can't seem to remember what it is. It's just a bout of madness, Alice. I see. Sweat, probably more blood than sweat, made my grip on the rock slippery. Amusement at seeing me struggle showed on the cat's face as her grin grew and her tail of black flame roared. I don't suppose you'd help me up. Depends on what you mean. She extended her right arm and grabbed my wrist. With a firm pull, she tore my hand off of my rock and held me up by the wrist. Wow. I dangled in midair, feeling her lift me upward. And let go. Air whooshed past my ears. Long live the Queen. I was falling. Crack. There we go. There we go. Death 3. 3 down, however many to go. 30% of script. Oh, I dropped my dictionary. Oh dear. Right, well that went well. Let's try the other option. Also, Lyra, hello, welcome! Welcome, welcome. We're going towards the cliff because it's not going to be a cliff. Because we know that not a cliff is a cliff. I tumbled through the bushes in the direction labelled as a cliff. The signs around here had nonsense written on them many times, more than not. As I expected, my chosen direction had no cliff in sight. Hello. I shakily got to my feet and watched the cat do so as well. She immediately lunged at me again. This time I was more prepared. I kneed her in the stomach as she approached, grabbing her right shoulder and twisting whilst hooking my foot on hers. Oh no, the girlies are fighting. Forcing her arm down, I heard a slight cracking noise and made her fall to the ground with a thump. Just in case, I kicked her away a bit. Her body was light, like a cat. I'm waiting for an explanation. She started to fade away, but I stepped on her before she could get away. After a quick struggle, she relented and got up to her feet without any further fading. The cat snarled, dusting off her body. Oh, I love the music so much. I hadn't realized who you were before. My cloak may have a hood, but you've seen my face many times already, Cheshire Cat. Wonderland's twisted up in time. That sort of logic doesn't work here. It's mad, all mad. You might be Alice, but who is Alice? Now, that's the question we have to ask. To start with, you don't know anything. Do you even know who you are, Alice? I'm Alice. That is all. That was my sole truth. But who in the world is Alice? An outsider, a temporary visitor? I've just about figured out the most important part. If you've figured it out, I don't suppose you'd tell me? You're... She pressed her hand against her head. Somehow, you're much too similar to the Mad Queen. Oh, about that Mad Queen. You've been looking for her, but let me tell you this. She's been dead for a while now. Although I think you should already know. I can't put it into words for some reason. Maybe it's just the way you look at the world, but you're definitely the same type of person. In which way? Are you just trusting some gut feeling, some delusion that I might be the same as someone whom I've never met? Or, as you say, someone who is long dead? This world can't afford another Red Queen, not even the chance of one. She vanished, taking the chance in our conversation. Criminals needed to be locked up. I looked all around, hearing the faintest sound of her shackles telling me that she was nearby, but I could not see her actual presence. So why don't you do me a favor, Alice? Just go ahead and die. Her voice danced through the air formlessly. You have no qualification to enact your form of justice, cat. That really is just like her to say. She appeared behind me and attacked again. We fell to the ground to tussle once more. She clawed at me a few times, but I gradually gained the advantage. The cat favoured her right arm. Rather, her left arm acted transient, coming in and out of existence, forcing her to avoid relying on it. Her handicap forced her to falter more than my now numb shoulder did me. She fought like an animal. To be fair, she was an animal. Biting, clawing, and all the likes, she came at me with the intent to kill. That emote fits this music so well. We continued till we were both bloodied and bruised. I punched her straight in the face, causing her to bite her tongue and choke up a mouthful of red. Her head bounced on the ground, throwing her next moves into disarray. I hit the cat again. And again. I don't like doing this. Doing this with my bare hands wasn't exhilarating as much as it was just a matter of fact. I had decided that I preferred this nuisance out of my hair. Yeah, I feel like killing the bird has just set me on a murder path. Murder everybody. I noticed that her right arm was stitched on. The arm felt familiar, as if it didn't belong to the Cheshire Cat. Oh no. Alice, that cat was also a thief. I wanted that arm. Oh yeah, in a situation like this, I'm just gonna ask her nicely and she's gonna give it to me. Well, I'm choosing full violence at the moment, I guess, so. I grabbed hold of the Cheshire Cat's right arm and pulled. The cat screamed, the arm creaked. Be quiet for a bit, won't you? As I pulled, I heard a myriad of tearing and ripping noises, sounds that human flesh should not make. She screamed herself hoarse, shaking under me. Feeling her erratic gasps, I figured that she could barely breathe. Her eyes dilated, crying. From the gurgling I heard from her throat, I guessed that she must have bitten fully through her tongue. We need another raid right here. No! No, absolutely not. God, I couldn't believe the timing before. That timing was so horrifically perfect. I dug my fingers into the arm even more harshly to wrench it off. Slowly but steadily, I removed the arm from the cat through brute force. With a final squelch, the arm popped off from where it had been attached. The cat also stopped making noise around that time. Blood splattered all over me, dirtying my clothes and the limb I sought to retrieve. Really a little annoying. The red dripped all over the grass around us. I sat on her prone body for a moment to rest. Looking at my handiwork, I wondered if perhaps I'd gone a little far? However, it was better to get trouble out of the way. I wobbled to my feet. I kicked the body, ascertaining that she was unconscious. Unconscious? Yeah, unconscious, sure, we'll go with that. Holding the arm in one hand, I dragged the cat along the ground. I left 2 trails of red behind me, one from the cat and one from the recently detached limb. Ah, I see. I see. In the direction labelled not a cliff was a cliff. What a convenient garbage disposal spot. I hauled the cat's body as close to the cliff's edge as I could. Placing the arm on the ground to free up my hands, I lifted her and flung her off the cliff. An issue was disposed of. Now there was no more Cheshire Cat. Great! I picked up the severed right arm. The limb appeared different now that it was detached from the cat. Hell no, I went too far. Oh, hell no, I went too far. She killed me at the other choice. That's true. That's true. But also, I feel like I started all of this by killing the bird. I don't know what it is. I've just got a feeling. Just a feeling. Oh, well, we have another arm now at least. Now it's just a leg and a head left. The broken shackle about its wrist fell off without me having to do a thing. Alice, Alice, did you recognize this arm? Yes, I answered. This was the Red Queen's arm. Every time you leave and come back, it's just, yeah, the most violent parts. Welcome back. I hope you're doing well. I just did a murder. Good times. Yeah, I mean the bird started this by failing to get the key. I mean, no. I could have forgiven the bird. I should have forgiven the bird. A jolt of pain burst through my head. I did not know why I knew, and amidst my agony, I did not have the heart to care. I stumbled, clutching my head. The world warped and blurred around me. I felt dizzy looking at the distorted landscape, or perhaps my dizziness itself distorted the landscape into an undulating thing that made me want to vomit. As my adrenaline drained, the results of the fight began to show themselves. My whole body felt sore. The raging headache pounding at my skull would not subside. Black and red began to fill my vision. Oh. The ground shifted beneath my feet. Maybe... Falling. Alice was falling. My world turned to darkness, and all I heard was laughter. Thump. I slowly opened my bleary eyes to the sky. A terrible headache battered my skull. I felt as if I'd forgotten something very important. So disoriented I was, I had no idea where I was. I patted around me and noticed that I still had the limb I just retrieved with me. But yeah, there was an option for either, like, forgive the bird or kill the bird, and I thought it would lead to an immediate bad end, but I'm still doing the story after killing this bird. I've got a feeling it was a bad decision. Don't know what it is. Just a thought. I think it may have been a bad decision. But I did save it. I can go back. I can go back and not kill the bird. Which I will be doing later because this is horrible. But yeah, it's every time I play a visual novel, I want to get the bad ends done first so I can then enjoy, like, the quote-unquote right ends better, if that makes sense. Sometimes it's hard to tell, though. Sometimes I will pick what I think is a bad choice, and then it works out well, and I'm like, ah, I see. Right, I've got my limb at least. My head hurt. Hearing footsteps, I pushed myself up to a sitting position and saw her. Who'd I see? Who I see? Yeah, so I may be on a wrong route yet. I have no idea what the best decisions are. I'm just going completely blindly, but I do plan on going back and picking different decisions, so... Best girl. Hatter. We're going back to Hatter. Hello. Looking around, I found that I was at the Hatter's place. Ah. I started to talk, only for my throat to feel like sandpaper. Each time I blinked, my eyelids grew heavy again. A chill ran through my whole body. Uncomfortable. That was all I could say I felt. Although I had experienced quite a bit since coming to Wonderland, I'd not thought I would catch a cold. Certainly that fight with the cat had battered me up. Don't speak, Alice! You're burning up, so no tea for you today. It must have still been tea time, for it was always tea time. However, today, the Hatter decided to put the tea aside, even at tea time, for the sick me. I love her. She brought a cup of water to my lips, tilting it for me to drink. I drank and choked. Coughing and spluttering, I felt her wipe away the water that had spilled. If you drink too quickly, you'll drown! Yeah, the sky is so beautiful. The music is so beautiful. Everything about this is so well crafted. I love it. Also, I need to head to sleep. Oh, thank you so much for stopping by. I know it's already super late for you. Thank you for the hydrate too. I should also have a sip of my water. Also, stay hydrated. Yay! And thank you for the posture check too. I'll have a big stretch. Large stretch. But yes, thank you for stopping in. I hope you sleep well too. I'm so excited to play more of this. Onyasumi. She handed me the cup directly, fingers just barely avoiding mine, but also grasping the cup firmly till she knew that I wouldn't drop it. Drink water slowly, Alice. I've got to go get something off the stove. Seeing that I had the cup in hand, she hopped off in the direction of the stove. I thought back to when we first met. At that time, the thing on the stove had been a hammer, so I hoped that she would bring back something more pleasant. Also, Platcom, hello! Thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the stream. I hope you enjoy your time here. I usually go for comfy times here. At the moment, there are a lot of limbs that we're collecting, so it's maybe not as comfy as my streams usually are, but I hope you can still enjoy your time here. Thank you for following. I sipped from the water cup and waited, setting it aside once I finished. She returned with a bowl of porridge in hand. Sitting down next to me, she scooped up a spoonful of porridge and blew it lightly to cool it down. As the porridge temperature settled, she moved the spoon toward my mouth. I instinctively opened my mouth like a baby bird. No. I can eat myself. I would rather you not cannibalize yourself. She fed me porridge spoonful by spoonful. Once the porridge was finished, she put the bowl away and gave me another cup of water. While letting me sip the water, she wiped away the sweat on my forehead. You're good at taking care of people. Really? I've never quite had My words drifted off into silence as I thought back to what little I had to say about taking care of others and being taken care of. Hatter, the limb. I'll put it away for you. You know me so well, Hatter, and... I love Hatter so much too. Protect Hatter, I love her. I could barely keep my eyes open. Rest well. The Hatter placed a cool, trembling hand on my forehead. Then into the realm of hypnos I fell. After a few days of good rest under the Hatter's care, I recovered to full health. I hadn't been so sick in years. Thank you, Hatter. What for? Don't linger too long at this crowded place. Off you go. Don't you have some body parts left to find, Alice? So I do. Seeing me once more healthy, she shooed me away. The Red Queen was nearly assembled, missing only her head and a fourth limb. Onward I continued with my search so that she could send me home. I took out the invitation that the White Rabbit had delivered to me. Running my fingers against the paper of the envelope and the imprint on the wax seal, some sort of animal, I tore the invitation open. Inside I found a card and I read it to myself. Alice, the Duchess requests the honour of your presence at her ball. Today, tomorrow, time eternal. The Duchess's estate, the manor. You are required to bring a companion. Flipping the card over, I noticed something of a crudely drawn map. I followed the lines on the map and somehow pinpointed where I was in relation to the manor. gotta love Alice and Hatter giggling about body parts. They're working together, they gotta find them. I held nothing to bring to a party, nor did I have a readily available guest. I pondered about whether I should go or not, seeing as that I could put it off indefinitely, but with the Red Queen's parts still missing, perhaps someone there would know. A Duchess should have been close to the Queen, for example. That at least the tutors had mentioned. As for the plus one, my mind wandered to my few human acquaintances in Wonderland. We're saving again. More saves. Saving at every choice. It's gotta be the Hatter at this point. It's gotta be. Come on, Hatter. Do you want to go to a party? I returned to the Hatter, who was having her usual tea time, and invited her. Hatter, won't you accompany me to a ball? I rather won't. Alice, did you have to request it that way? I'll trade you a favour. A favour for a favour. If you'll come to the ball with me, I can do something for you.
Take some pity. Alice has no friends.
No friends, no pets, no siblings, no one, none. Do favours have flavour like butter?
I would say I have at least one of the above. What sort of favour would you offer me, Alice? A limb? A tongue? A heart? Alice, you don't have anything that I want that I can't get myself. A cuppa for your sandwich, Alice. Here's the salt. I passed her the pepper as she slid the salt in a cup of tea over to me, fiddling with the salt container. I tasted a spoonful of humiliation atop my tongue. I have no friends.
She says she has no friends.
She really has no friends.
You have no friends? What am I, March's favourite old buttersticks? That's true. That's true. I have at least one friend. Well, if you would.
If you would.
She says it.
I would really rather not. A Hatter doesn't matter around the nobles who just like the flatter. I'm no good with nobles after all. I'm just a Hatter. For a second, her voice dipped. Hatter is better off here, all alone. I barely heard the Hatter's low words. And it's also still tea time. How can we go off to a ball when we've yet to finish afternoon tea? She stirred her tea, watching as I slumped into my seat and played with the salt. But I rather appreciate you. My heart skipped a beat. Why? Alice, just why did you find that slight smile somewhat charming? Clink. The sound of my teaspoon hitting against the rim of my cup broke me out of my thoughts. I looked down. Putting the cup to my mouth, I took a sip and found that I had put salt in my tea. Terrible.
I'll accompany you, Alice.
When is this ball? Anytime.
It's not very nice of you to say it's not tea time here, then. Not very good of you to be biased against tea time, don't you know?
Oh, I love the Hatter so much. Oh, I love her. We finished off our tea and sandwiches. After a few more sips, I sneakily dumped the salted tea behind my armchair. The Hatter put the Dormouse and March Hare away. After lingering at the tea table for a few moments longer, we got up to leave. She waved goodbye to the puppets, hesitant, as if scared of leaving this place. I want to give her a big hug. I just want to give her a huge hug. I love her. Then we used the shoddy map on the back of the invitation card to find our way to the Duchess's place. After a walk, we arrived at the manor. The Hatter shook her legs as if just that bit of walking had tired her out. Then again, the bags under her eyes conveyed that she hadn't slept well for a while. A guard stopped us at the entrance.
Halt! Please show your invitation card.
I handed the guard the card. He looked it over, glancing at me and the Hatter, before returning it to me. The guard gestured and led us inward a few steps through the entranceway.
To enter, guests must provide an arm. The arm will be returned to you whenever you wish to leave the party.
An arm? A limb? The guard nodded.
Please provide an arm.
Oh my. Uncharacteristically, the Hatter said nothing the entire time to the guard. She warily looked at his sheathed sword and shuffled behind me.
You may not enter without providing an arm.
Oh. Oh, wow. Okay. Okay, that's interesting. We're meant to be collecting the Red Queen's limbs. But if we get it back afterwards as well, I'm sure it's fine. All right. I crossed my arms and tapped my feet as the guard repeated his blocking words a handful of times more. While the thought of offering my own limb came up, I decided against it. As such, we needed to find another arm to give. Unless it's a trick. Yeah, it's probably a trick. That's why I'm picking this, because it's a terrible idea. Alice is being very selfish and violent and putting herself before everything else, and I feel like this is going to end me. End me? I feel like this is going to lead me to a bad end. It's also going to end me. Yeah, it's true.
While I'm loath to suggest this, we do have a spare arm back at the tea table. Her Majesty surely wouldn't mind, don't you think?
Yes, indeed. She had no tongue to speak otherwise. With that, we made a trip back to the Hatter's place. The Hatter hopped over to the dog cage we had set by the Red Queen. Popping it open, she pulled out a severed arm and quickly slammed the door shut. Oh, we are getting some incredibly timed raids today. Oh my goodness.
Hio, hello, how's it going?
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for the raid. Don't mind the text. Everything is fine. Don't worry about it. It's okay. But hello, how's it going? How was your stream? Thank you so much for raiding me. I will give a quick warning before I go any further. I'll do a little content warning. I'm playing a horror game at the moment. There is a lot of horror so far. There have been some horrific scenes. I've already died 3 times. It's great. But oh, I'm glad the stream went well. Just chatting for a while. Also, this game is it's so good so far, but it's also very much yeah, dismembered arms? You want an arm? Can I give you a hand with that? For anyone who's new here as well, hello! I'm Lirie, I'm a pink-haired cat girl from the UK, and I love puzzle games, and also comfy games, and occasionally horror games with dismembered limbs. So yes, please be aware of the content warnings. Like, if that's not your kind of thing, there's been a lot of stuff going on so far in this game. And at the moment, we're about to use a severed arm to try and get into a party. But yes, I'm currently playing a Yuri horror visual novel, which is based around Alice in Wonderland. It's called Who is the Red Queen? I still don't know who the Red Queen is, but I do know that we found her torso, and we're trying to find the rest of her limbs now. So, yeah, so far we've got 2 arms and a leg, I think. Yeah, we've got 2 arms and a leg. So we still need another leg, and we still need the head. But, yeah. This is a very, very bad path at the moment. I am making so many terrible decisions. I've killed the Cheshire Cat. I killed a bird. I am so sorry. Wait. I was expecting it to immediately lead to a bad end, and I'm still doing the story with it, so it's kind of horrific. But it's such an incredible game so far. I'm so excited to explore it more. I know! It felt so bad. But I killed a bird, and then the instant I clicked the choice, I got a raid. Earlier in the stream as well. So it's like, oh hey, raid into a complete horrific scene. And then here it's like, oh hey, raid into a severed arm in a dog cage. Welcome, it's a good time here. We're having a great time, it's a lot of fun. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that the bird's choice is kind of setting me on quite a bad path, I think, which is fully deserved. Absolutely deserve it, but I'm sticking with it now. I'm sticking with all of my terrible decisions. I've made lots of saves. I'm saving at every choice, so I can go back and fix my bad decisions later on. But, yeah. Bad decisions. On par for a Lirie stream. No, I am well behaved. I do not usually murder. I promise. Unless it's Borderlands, I guess. But welcome. Welcome. I saw that you weren't feeling so well as well earlier. I hope you're feeling a bit better now. If you're tired from your stream, don't feel obligated to stay. Feel free to go rest too, but if you want to just like chill, have a lurk, you can join me on this horrific adventure. But thank you so much for the raid again. Yeah, just chill and enjoy the vibes. Honestly, the music is incredible though. I love the music in this. Right, anyway, the Hatter hopped over to the dog cage we had set by the Red Queen. Popping it open, she pulled out a severed arm and quickly slammed the door shut. There we go, we got an arm. The limb flailed in the Hatter's hands till she unceremoniously tossed it to me. This was the Red Queen's arm. And this is the Hatter, and she is best girl. I love her so much. I never quite thought that I would accompany Her Majesty to a ball. It gives me shivers. To me, it felt so obvious that this was the Red Queen's arm. I wonder if someone will recognize the arm. We could certainly be in a good deal of trouble. And I would prefer not to have the trouble of getting the arm back if someone tried to take it away. They won't with Wonderland. They wouldn't want to recognize it anyhow. I've been here for a while, but still, this logic fascinates me. Wonderland. We took a tea break. According to the Hatter, it was still tea time after all. It's always tea time. Shall we go on to the ball, milady? Although I'm afraid I've got no pumpkin carriage nor glass slippers for you. You're charming enough as is. Lead the way, Alice. Oh, I love her. I love her. Arm in hand, we returned to the Duchess's manor. The guard greeted us with the same phrases, asking for an arm as the entrance fee, to which we responded by handing over the arm that we'd retrieved. He glanced at both of us, noting that neither of us were missing a limb. The guard handed it off to a servant who put it in a sealed box and took it away for safekeeping nonetheless.
You may enter, esteemed guests.
All right, we arrived at the Duchess's ballroom. Although the hostess was nowhere to be found, servants milled around the floor with refreshments for the guests. Oh, there's music! Oh, this music reminds me of Ib. I don't know if anyone's played Ib. It's another game I plan on playing at some point this month. Such a good game. The music here reminds me of that. Oh, hello. A quartet performed in the front. Food sat at the tables to the sides of the room. All around were faceless people dressed up like clowns. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Faceless people. They were uninteresting people. They sent a few glances our way as we came without much fanfare. Already I didn't like them. Perhaps it was their beady, pig-like eyes. For all I knew... For all that they were faceless, I saw only clowns and swine. That is so rude, Alice. Well, I guess I am on, like, rude violence route. But yeah, Oog is such a good game. I played it back in the day ages ago when it was just a very small RPG Maker game. But I haven't played the remastered version, so I do own it, and I definitely plan on playing that at some point. So if you're interested in it and you haven't played it, I will stream it. I'll make it happen. It's such a good game. I approached a group, thinking to gain some information. Hello.
Hello to you as well.
The guests seemed wary upon seeing me, but showed a displeased reaction upon laying eyes on the Hatter, who had reluctantly followed me along. And the peasant, which one was it? The one with the vermin. Where are your little raggedy friends? The rat? And the hare? That's really rude. The Red Queen's little pet was happy to see them gone. The rabbit's always been like that. Rather than the rutting, she likes the cutting. An animal in such a position. I really do not approve. Her Majesty likes it. Well, she's gone now. You shouldn't say that. Speak of the devil and she will come. The devil indeed. 'Tis a shame that the White Queen's always been a fool. A pretty bird, but as a ruler. Pretty bird, but as a ruler? The Red Queen liked her well enough, and certainly from the rumours, she's done something quite pleasant. For us, you mean? Don't jinx it. The group stage whispered amongst themselves as they pointed to the Hatter like they were looking at a spectacle. The Hatter at the time was simply staring off into space. Is that lunatic glaring at us? This is the problem with peasants. It's staring at us. My, how uncomfortable. I can't believe the thing rolls around with the animals. Tut tut, the animals are all gone. That's the least that Her Majesty has done for us in her petty red reign of pretty red rain. Now let's get away from the filth. The stench of vermin is unbearable. I must ask the Duchess about who can be let into her ballroom. A servant passed by with a tray full of champagne. One of the guests removed 2 flutes from the tray and offered me one with a slur in her words. Oh, just got it. Oh, got what? Yeah, oh, yeah, it was very heavily implied earlier that the Dormouse and the March Hare, like, actually used to exist and then got killed. And the Hatter has the puppets as like a stand-in for them. I'm pretty sure that is the case. Because we found out a lot about the White Rabbit. The White Rabbit has quite a side to her. And also, I'm pretty sure that killing the bird earlier, I think that's like the choice that's kind of locked me into this horrible, horrible kind of route where I'm just making horrible, horrible decisions. And I think if I spared the bird, then the other characters would have a different reaction to me. Like, I'm acting more like the Red Queen at the moment. Whereas if I didn't hurt the bird, I would not be acting like the Red Queen, so maybe the Cheshire Cat wouldn't hate my guts immediately. I don't know, it could be the same either way, but I got a feeling. We'll find out either way when I go back and pick all the other options, though. Have some alcohol. Did you have some business with us? No. I shook my head and turned away. Drink should be shared only in pleasant company. Let's take our leave from these people, Hatter. Chitter-chatter, chitter-chatter. I noticed the other guests making snide comments on the Hatter and giving her the side-eye while stepping back from me, of all people. Saying these things to my person, someone who was mine, my Hatter, they deserved punishment, capital or otherwise. Yeah, Alice is losing it now. That was right, Alice. What a shame that I had no such power. Man, I wonder if I am the Red Queen. I wonder if Alice is the Red Queen. I wonder if my decisions affect the Red Queen. I feel like I may be the Red Queen. Got a feeling. We'll see. We moved to the sides where the food was, seeing as few people lingered by refreshments for long. The two of us picked up some cakes and snacks. As I tasted it, I couldn't help but feel that the Hatter made better food. A tingly sensation spread through my body as I ate. Oh, I shouldn't be eating this, probably. Hatter! What is this? My voice changed pitches as I talked. At one moment I sounded squeaky as a mouse, and at the next as low as an elephant. Me too! Playing with the odd refreshments, we found ourselves speaking like animals.
Meow.
Ruh.
Meow, meow.
I wondered what she said. She looked so pleased, as if she'd made the world's greatest joke that had just gone unheard. Yeah, this is some weird food. Also, welcome back, Gigi! Sorry, I missed the message earlier, but welcome back. Next, we tried the pudding. Discomfort filled my heart as if something dirty was coming out with each pulse, with each squeeze of the ventricle pushing blood through the aorta. I hate this. I hate you. Huh? I don't know how I deal with a bedlamite dog like you. I really, really, really hate you. It's Red's fault. I'll kill the dead. They're dead, so I'm alone. The Hatter blocked her words and stuffed a cookie into her mouth. That's a truth serum, huh? What needs to be done has to be done, but once it's done, we should certainly purge. It's been such a long time. I've got to punish that little bird. And you. Your head will make a good decoration. There's not a worthy cell inside. You're a lunatic and a fool. What is going on, Alice? No! No, Hatter, you're best girl. No, that's so mean. Putting a hand over my mouth and clenching my jaw, I shut up as well till the distortion in my heart disappeared. I didn't mean to say any of that. The pudding must have twisted our words. I as well. Had it, Alice? As we experienced the strange food, the other guests continued to mingle and dance. This was a ball, so ball things they did. Yeah, it's like the further along we go, the more and more unhinged she's getting. And the darker this is getting, the more Red Queen-like. The music stopped along with the chatter. It was at this time that the Duchess made her appearance. She was a featureless woman who hid her face. Instinct told me that she was ugly, yet I could not see anything, not disfigurement nor beauty. She existed as the Duchess, but could not be seen. She was only perceived. Tonight we have a special gift to be given to a single guest. She gestured, and a servant behind her came up with an item hidden under a red cloth. A hushed whispering ran through the ballroom as everyone guessed at what could be hidden underneath that would make the Duchess consider it special. We are holding a chess tournament, the usual game that ends when the king has fallen, even here where the king has long gone. Of course, the winner will receive the prize. I bet the prize is a leg. I bet the prize is a leg. Yep, it's a leg. The servant removed the cloth. All around, the guests let out a collective gasp. What, you may ask? Why, it could only be our dearest Majesty's leg. There was a severed leg, the Red Queen's left leg. From the looks of the limb, it could fit perfectly onto the torso stump sitting at the Hatter's place. May the best strategist win! The Duchess clapped. Oh no, I'm terrible at chess. Oh no. The servants began to move out, setting up tables and chess sets in a matter of minutes. With a matchup list created, the tournament started. As I made my moves with Hatter, I thought back to all the chess I had played for the tutors. They would be relieved that at least I hadn't forgotten anything and everything. Losing each time had been a painful ordeal, so I too was glad that I remembered. The Hatter had a brilliant strategic mind. I watched as she flung her queen into a crowd of pawns, only for it to be eaten alive. Oh, most of the time. We made our ways to the finals, where we met with the last opponent, not at a table, but in a cleared out space in the ballroom with a large chessboard overlaid. The last opponent was the Duchess. Around her lined up stood 1 1/3 dozen soldiers dressed up in black like chess pieces. What is this? Why, human chess! Chess is an imitation of bloody war. In this land without war, we must take steps to make life more interesting. That is what our dearest Majesty proclaimed. One of you two have to take up the role of a piece, and otherwise, I will provide the other pieces for you to play with. Uh-oh. I exchanged glances with the Hatter. Even now, I couldn't understand what went on in those eyes, but I'd already decided. Maybe I didn't want to see her potentially get hurt, as no one here cared for the life of a Hatter. Oddest odder, what a thought to have. I rather liked her. I will take the role of a piece. No, it's okay, I'm the piece here. I bet if things had gone differently here, and I didn't have as good a relationship with the Hatter, I bet I would instantly just throw the Hatter out to the wolves. Oh, am I gonna be the king or the queen? Oh. See, being the king feels like the safer role, because the only way that the king will be taken is checkmate. But the queen has the potential to still be taken at any time. I feel like queen is the right option. I'm going for king. Yeah. I chose to take the king's piece, the king piece's role, for the king was the end of the game. While I was given a fake white crown and sword, I was not a soldier. Our white pieces shuffled in and took their positions on the board. Soon enough, the chessboard was set. A human-sized version of the strategy game unfolded. Connor Fitzpat, hello, welcome to the stream. How's it going? Nice to see you. Welcome to Human Chess. I may die. It's interesting. The Hatter started with the first move. Clang, clash. One by one, our white pieces on the board fell, almost like dominoes. Perhaps don't deploy the queen. No, a piece on the board cannot speak. We are the players, and you are but a game piece. Pieces came dangerously close to me. The sound of metal filled my ears. Warm blood splattered over my face as an overzealous knight beheaded our last bishop. Oh my. Then guts spilled over my shoes when the Hatter took out the knight who'd cornered me. I've never been much for strategy. The Hatter yawned and rubbed her eyes. All our pieces had died, taken off the board with but a smear on the ground, aside from the pawns, whereas the Duchess had taken far fewer losses. I love the Hatter so much. She's my favorite. I had a feeling that we were doomed. Alas, what can we do? No speaking! The game continued, and by mad luck, the Hatter made her way to the other side of the board. Promote it! Promote it! Let that pawn turn into a queen. That's how it works, isn't it? I watched as the Hatter turned the game around with her remaining X-pawns. The Black King was surrounded. Checkmate, Duchess! Then we cut him down. The Duchess clapped her hands in congratulations. The servants cleared the floor. Wiping it down, they made it once more sparkly clean, as if red had not just been spilled in a human facsimile of a game. One came along with a wet towel for me to wipe away anything that had gotten on me during the match. Congratulations, you are a true pair of master strategists. With this, the competition is concluded and you two are winners. Would you like to take your prize now? Yes! The Hatter bobbed her head up and down rapidly. Yes. The Duchess gestured a servant over. Our dearest Majesty's leg, do take care of it, well, lest she comes back and has you punished for disrespecting the crown. She took the leg from the servant and handed it to me. I got leg. I hope you enjoy the rest of the ball. I wonder if I can get the arm back now, though. That's the only question I have now. The Duchess left again with her servant following after her. She seemed to have enjoyed the chess tournament. Just as quickly as she left, the chess setups were cleared away. The guests returned to eating, drinking, and dancing. Let's leave! She had no intention to stay. Neither had I, having accomplished the unexpected boon of finding a piece of the Red Queen. We found a servant to leave, and we were redirected outward. He retrieved the sealed box with our entrance fee and handed it over. We exited the building and came to a garden. We'd taken a wrong turn. Looking around, we spotted an exit at the far end of the garden, and the Hatter made a move to leave. I called out to stop her, extending a hand. We didn't have a chance to dance. Won't you give me the honor of one dance, Hatter? I won't. Maybe just one with you, Alice? I can't dance. I'm dexterous with my hands, but not so much with my feet. Hatter doesn't fit well with these things. Isn't that a problem? She hesitantly stretched out her hand, fingers hovering over mine. It's okay. I can't dance either. You are lovely. I love you. I feel so terrible doing all these things with such a lovely, lovely, lovely lady. Don't worry. Let me lead. I took her hand and we danced. Humming in place of an instrumental quartet, I led her in steady steps, ignoring the way she stumbled over my feet. Left, right, left, right. Perhaps this was the most enjoyable dance I'd had yet. I love her. I twirled the Hatter around. She was so light. Alice! Alice! Hatter? You might not be so bad after all. She made an expression like she wanted to cry. Oh, me too. I rather like you, Alice. Only Alice. I rather liked her too. I gave her another twirl and she let go. I reached out my fingers, but she moved her hand away. The Hatter hopped back with a skip and spin. Thus she stood by her lonesome. Close your eyes, Alice. I did as she said. I felt her roughly stuff the leg into my arms. I heard a faint tapping noise reminiscent of footsteps moving away from me. And then there was nothing. I waited and waited and waited. Alice, how long did you want to wait for her? I waited a long time, clutching the leg in my hands. When I opened my eyes, the Hatter was nowhere to be seen. Did she leave me behind? Although I walked around the garden, she was nowhere to be found. I decided to leave as well. Taking one last pass through the garden, I made my way through the exit. A sudden vertigo struck me. I must have had a long day, I reasoned as I held a hand to my forehead while trying to steady myself. My brain spun like a sloshed-up pit of mud. The discomfort in my heart returned. I think I may have been dumped. I leaned back against a tree to take a break, looking upward. Eyelids flickering, I wondered if the sky had always looked so far away. My free hand propped against the bark slid downwards unconsciously. I closed my eyes for a moment. Darkness. At some point, I made my way back to the Hatter's place. Hello, Hatter. I handed over the limb I had just obtained. At least, from what I could tell from the passage of time, it should have been only recently that I had taken this limb from its past owner. I didn't know. The Hatter took the limb and threw it into the dog cage with all the others. With this, you've gathered all of Her Majesty's limbs! Oh, so I have. You look terrible right now, Alice. Again.
Like us.
Like us.
I'm tired. I'm dead, aren't I? If I'm like the dormouse in the March Hare, I've got a feeling. Take a nap! Tea time isn't going anywhere, not unless time grows back its severed head and walks away, don't you think? We can always talk a little later. Thank you. I slumped back into my armchair, sinking into the oddly scented cushions. Good night, Alice. This may be the last. I almost feel a little sorry, but Dormouse March, I won't stop. I didn't hear what the Hatter said afterward over the raging white noise of my headache. My vision blurred, eyes becoming watery. Eyelids heavy. I fell asleep. Then I was dreaming, falling into the dream. Tick-tock, tick-tock. I dreamt of a throne. A dark and terrible throne, so horribly cold. It was such a lonely throne. But the eye on the throne was arrogant and happy to be alone. No, I thought even she had someone she loved. A beautiful person. Yes, that person she loved was a beautiful person, so fragile and beautiful that she wanted to slowly tear off that person's wings. This is definitely the Red Queen and the White Queen. Ugh. But her love was wrong. If she wasn't happy, then she would lose everything. Alice, you were exactly this person. No, I wasn't. Was I? As I opened my mouth to speak, blood began to leak through my lips. The only sound that came out was an empty gurgle. Were you happy? No. I could not talk, I could not taste. Even the red dripped down my chin. I felt as if my tongue had been snipped out. Blood choked me. Gasping in nothing but liquid, I grasped at my throat. Alice. I was drowning in this dream. You were never happy, never. When I awoke, I forgot all that I dreamt of. I opened my eyes to an empty feeling in my mind. Disoriented, I nearly rolled off of my armchair in which I had gone to sleep. I sat up and stifled a yawn, rubbing the bridge of my nose. I blinked. I blinked again, chasing away a haze. I felt as if I'd forgotten something very important. In the meanwhile, the Hatter brought over a decorated cake much more elaborate than the usual snacks at her eternal tea time. It was a cake with cream and fruits, 2-layered even, with flowers and pictures carved up with the food ingredients. I could only call it a pretty cake. Just in time for tea, Alice! As I got up from my armchair, the Hatter lightly pushed me back down. My behind landed on the cushion with a soft bounce. It seemed I could not but sit. She stared at me before sticking a handful of candles into the cake, lighting them with a match. Flick, the flame glowed on the head of the match for just a few seconds. After settling the candles, she began clapping her hands to an unsteady rhythm. Happy on birthday to you! Happy on birthday to you!
Happy on birthday!
Dear Alice! A terribly offbeat, off-balance song. She sang and her voice warped as she said my name today. A certain darkness flickered in her mismatched eyes. Happy on birthday to you! I didn't understand. I couldn't understand. I simply watched as she finished the song with a small clap and pushed the cake a bit closer to me. What is this for, Hatter? Certainly, today was not my birthday. Didn't I tell you? Don't you remember? You get a special prize for bringing me all 4 limbs, Alice. Since it's not your birthday, it must be your unbirthday. All 364 days of the year. Picking up a knife, she cut out a slice of cake and slid it over to me. I caught it in a hurry, and soon enough she poured me a cup of tea that 2 came rushing over. I noticed a hammer on the table right next to the cake knife. She gestured, urging me to have a taste. The calming scent of the tea wafted to my nose and mixed with sweet milky cream. The celebratory cake slice looked so charming. I almost felt it a shame to eat. I picked up the cup of tea and took a sip. This is my favorite. After enjoying some tea, I started on the cake. As I ate, the Hatter placed a box before me. Open your present, Alice! Chop it open!
Smash it open!
Any way you'd like to. We know what's in here. I surveyed the box, an odd and plain box just big enough to store an animal. From the inside, I could not tell what might lie inside. I cracked open a small gap, afraid to disturb what could be hidden inside. Shadows blocked my vision. I saw nothing, but I heard a low gurgling, drowning sound. A strange and strangled voice, one that sent a chill rolling up my neck. Throbbing headache hit me again. In one go, I flung the lid off. Hi! Hello! Inside was a head. A bloodied head. Huh? A head, a woman's head, a girl's head, a head that should have been dead. A much too familiar face, a much too foreign face. I didn't quite understand what I was looking at, even as the world seemed to shift around me. Alice, you knew who that face belonged to. Alice! Whose head is this? I stumbled to my feet to back away, only to fall back onto the armchair from my loss of equilibrium. This wasn't right. The face looked just like mine, just almost. I clutched my neck and touched my face to make sure that I was still here. This was the Red Queen. This was Alice. This was a severed head. Alice. Whose head is this? I wanted to ask, but instead a strangled cry escaped my throat. I couldn't move my eyes away from this so-called prize that the Hatter had given to me. Blood pooled at the bottom of the box, sticky and dark. How terrible. I reached a trembling hand to touch it, but it wasn't my place to try to close her eyes or put her to peace. The head was still moving, twisting with a squelch and squish. Its wet, ragged sounds of raspy breathing echoed in my skull. I jerked my hand back and covered my ears. I couldn't look away. Now aren't you glad you needn't find Her Majesty's head? As if laughing at me, as if she didn't truly mean that, with an odd tilt of her voice as she spoke of the Red Queen, the Hatter confirmed the head's owner. She walked over to the Red Queen, flinging the dog cage open, and popped the limbs onto the torso one by one. As they reattached, they began to flail and grab at the Hatter. This time she was prepared and grabbed her hammer. Hatter? With a pair of loud bangs, she hammered nails through the corpse's hands into the Red Queen's chair. Red dripped to the ground. The hands twitched, the body writhed. A ghostly pain ran up my arms as my stomach churned. I felt dizzy. What? Hatter? I discovered that I had nothing to say. Even though I always had thoughts racing through my mind, I had nothing to say. Alice, that was why you were worthless. Ask something, anything. I touched my face to see if my lips had curled up without me thinking to. Didn't you want to leave this place? Now you found the Red Queen! If you have something you'd like to talk with her about, I'll let you take care of that before I proceed with my own business. She pushed the Red Queen over, chair scraping on the ground with a hideous squeal, and stopped only when I sat face to face with the headless, shifting body. Taking the head out of the box, the Hatter put it onto the body. Oh boy. The skin and meat deformed, contorting till the pieces of neck met exactly where they should. Then it all knitted together with something unnatural crawling under the skin. I shuddered at the hollow sound made from the corpse as her throat connected. The Red Queen looked at me with dead red eyes. I didn't know what she went through, but she looked terrible. I realized that I hadn't ever asked who killed her like this, nor had I ever stumbled upon an answer the same way I had found all the limbs. This was the Red Queen. Alice, this was me. The request I had been pondering on, the wishes to go back home, the want to ask her for help, they all flew out of my mind. Because this wasn't right. The face I was looking at, battered and bloodied as it appeared, was not right. I couldn't speak, but she did. Mouthing words yet making no sound besides the hollow whistle of a crushed throat, the Red Queen began to talk without saying a thing. Her tongue was missing, and we had to do something about that. I think this is what I need to do. So I'm asking. I'm going to be asking. I'm going to be stuck in questions. I'm going to be wondering. I try to find my own tongue, stumbling with a pulsing pressure in the back of my head before I could articulate my next inquiry. Hatter, where is the Red Queen's tongue?
I didn't want to hear her voice, so I tore it out and fed it to the dogs.
The Red Queen wasn't complete without a tongue. Although she squirmed in the chair, causing the nails to creak, it seemed like she didn't truly have her soul. Alice, you were so close. The corpse looked upon us with stagnant eyes. That should mean I needn't bother searching for it then.
What were your intentions, Hatter?
Am I the Red Queen? At this point, I still knew nothing about the Red Queen, but that she shared my face and of the various gossips I overheard on the ruler. Alice! Looking at the Hatter's mismatched eyes, I could see what she thought for the first time.
What do you think?
Oh no, don't look at me like that.
Let me tell you a story, Your Majesty.
So I was Your Majesty now.
A long time ago, in this corner of Wonderland, there lived a group of 3 friends. A mouse, a hare, and a hatter. We lived far away from bustling society, usually just coming together for tea. I made hats, and they did mouse and hare things. Once we had been dragged to perform like clowns for visitors to this kingdom, but only that once, for Her Majesty hadn't quite appreciated our lack of skill. Her Majesty ran the court of law, a strict queen, some called her. A mad queen, some whispered. A tyrant, most could not even dare to say. I think this story should be predictable, don't you? We were called into court one day. The reason, maybe only to be judged. She proclaimed us guilty and had us sentenced. I, for no reason, received the lightest sentence of the day. I came away with my neck still intact, not knowing a thing. Thrown into prison and starved, only just that much. When I came out, the streets were filled with newly spilled blood, and 2 very familiar heads rolled my way. Crows feasted on carrion, only for even them to be swept away by the Queen's cards. Do I need to explain further? Perhaps you really are blind and deaf. Dormouse and March Hare are dead. For what? For the sole crime of offending our world's tyrant. And so Hatter has been all alone for a long, 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 long time. I can never forgive the Red Queen. But she went and upped and died. Who let her get away like that so easily? You, who are the same entity as the Red Queen, I can't let you go. Don't you understand? Hatter, For the sake of my revenge, you have to die, Alice. She spun the hammer in her hands, her face devoid of mirth as she stepped closer to me, meeting my eyes with her mismatched pair. This is my justice, Alice. Goodbye, Alice.
Goodbye.
She raised that hammer in her hand above my head. Why did she look like she was about to cry? Crack. Then I was falling. Falling. I was falling. Down this rabbit hole with no start nor end, I was falling. My skull and brain pieced itself together, twisting as if going back in time. I re-experienced the pain of having my head caved in with a hammer. I was going mad. A wetness, perhaps tears, perhaps brain matter, rolled down my face as I tried to comprehend. I should have died. I felt as if I was remembering something very important. I landed in Wonderland once more. Alice? The first person to greet me was once more the White Rabbit. I grabbed at my head only to find no injuries, no red. No longer able to differentiate between dream and reality, I questioned if I had merely been hallucinating the whole time. Then I was falling again. I died again. Alice. Each time I fell, I came back down. Alice. It became a hazy world, a distorted world, a world that was beginning to lose its colours. Time and time again, falling. I seemed to revert the hourglass and turn back the hands of the clock, each time going into another past. Before I knew it, the rabbit had changed. Your Majesty? She was a bit more polite. Your Majesty,
Perhaps a bit more cruel in her eyes, a bit less restrained with the darkness in her gut. She called out to me each and every time. Your Majesty! The rabbit was my starting point, my saving point. Falling, falling, falling. I kept falling uncontrollably. Falling, landing, dying, falling. I no longer felt as if I had control of even my own body anymore. My world flickered on and off. It hurt. Dying hurt. I didn't want to deal with this anymore. Alice, you had to deal with this. I didn't want to. I really didn't want to. I didn't want to deal with this anymore. Again, I fell. I felt my body on the ground. With hazy eyes, I saw a familiar figure and heard it speak with a familiar voice as murmurs reached my ears from all around. Her face and her words, not a single thing could I make out. Before I even got the chance to see the rabbit, a growingly familiar sensation struck me. Pain, a sharp agony burned into my arms, till I suddenly could not feel my fingers. Then the same came to my legs. Chop, chop, there they went. A limb or two or three or four. Off they went until suddenly I had none for myself. Soon a blade cut through my neck, sawing as it got stuck and stabbing again and again, till the head finally came off, and I was falling again.
Oh my goodness. I am getting some incredible raid moments here. Oh my goodness. Kamiichi Kaya, hello! Thank you so much for the raid! Welcome to the Cornfields, Mother Shaka. Oh, I love that. Hello, how's it going? 48 Volt, thank you for the follow, welcome! Oh my goodness, you've joined at quite a time, huh? VHack0 as well, thank you for the follow! Oh, so many follows, oh my goodness! Ashi Rahim, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Humid Phoenix 560, thank you for the follows, welcome! Welcome to a horror game. I'm dying at the moment. It's it is quite a moment, huh? But hello and welcome. Welcome, I hope you enjoy your time here. Thank you for the gym. You're exhausted. Just played Subnautica and it was the scariest stuff for you. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness! Kiriana Schmidt! Thank you so much for the gift subs! Hello! Thank you so much! And White Fang K, thank you so much for the follow as well. Welcome aboard. Right, this is such an awkward scene to have raided onto. I'm literally in the process of dying at the moment. But thank you so much. Hello! Oh, thank you so much. Super cute. I try my best. Thank you. For anyone who's new here, hello. I'm Lirie. I'm a pink-haired cat girl from the UK, and I love comfy games and puzzle games. And I'm currently playing a horror visual novel where I have died many times. It's going well. I'm getting some great raid moments. This is incredible. Like, this is the third raid of the stream, and every single time it's on a scene like this. It's been incredible. But yeah, thank you so much for the raid though. Thank you for bringing everyone over here. Oh, and thank you for the gift sub to Kamiichi Kaya as well. Thank you so much. Yeah, comfy game enjoyers. I must apologize. This game definitely is not the comfiest game. I don't know. I'm trying to make it as comfy as possible. As comfy as a horror game can be, I guess. Yeah, thank you for the confetti. But yes, I will say as well, this is a horror game. I've got a list of content warnings as a command. So if you're unnerved by any of these things, please be warned. This game has a lot of horror in it. It's incredibly cool as well, though. It is so good. Having such a great time playing it, even with me making all of the worst decisions. Aww. No, I have a good vibe, fellow comfy streamer. Thank you so much. I'm so glad. I'm so glad you decided to come over here. Oh my goodness. Dante left. Thank you for the bits. Super comfy. Just don't ask. Nothing happened. It's fine. Nothing bad has happened. It's okay. But thank you for the bits. Yeah, don't. If this helps at all, the animal cruelty has already happened. and I feel horrible for it. It was awful. It was terrible. But that's already happened, and I don't plan on doing it again. So, so that's hopefully something you shouldn't have to worry about if you do want to stick around. But also, I will say too, don't feel obligated to stick around after the raid. I know streaming can be very exhausting, especially with like a horror game. I don't know much about Subnautica, but I am absolutely terrified of like the deep ocean, so I feel like I would be terrible with that kind of game. Oh, thank you for throwing things at me. Oh, and thank you for the hydrate too. I will have a sip of my drinks. Gotta stay hydrated. Thank you so much. Oh, I'm glad you like the axolotl emote too. She is my mascot. Her name is Hazel. She's a lovely girl. I actually have 3 axolotl plushies. 2 of them are called Hazel and Fliss, which are like normal names, and then the other one is called Blorp, and he is a large blob of wonderfulness. It's so good. I'll have to find a picture at some point. But yes, thank you so much for the raid. And thank you so much for everyone who's been sticking around and also lurking too. I appreciate you being here. I hope you enjoy your time here. Yeah, I plan on playing a few more... Oh my goodness, more bits! Lumsev, thank you! Thank you for the bits. Did you do that just to kick off the hype train? Thank you so much. Thank you. I have bits forcibly thrown at my head. Thank you so much. Choo-choo. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. 48 Volt, thank you so much for the sub as well. Oh my goodness. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, I really love axolotls. It's the kind of thing where I know I could never have a pet axolotl because I don't think I'd be able to look after them. I would not be able to give it the care it needs. I wouldn't want to subject it to that. Also, I have a cat. But I have many plushies. I have many plushies and little axolotl related things. I've got like a little cable clip organizer thingy, which is an axolotl. It's really cute. But yes, thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for the hype train. It feels kind of inappropriate to be celebrating a hype train as my head is being sawn off. But thank you so much. But yes, I have a cat. She's a lovely cat. A little black and white cat called Tiffany. I call her my baby, but she's 10 years old now. But she's very sweet. True, should have been hype training on the... No! Stop talking about the bird! No! My worst decision. My worst decision of all time. But oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the raid, and I hope you enjoy your time here. I am at the end of the game at the moment, so it might be a little confusing, but I highly recommend this game. Like, if you like visual novels and you like horror, this game is actually free to play on Steam. So you can just download it and play it for free, and it's been such an incredible journey so far. I love it so much. It's so good. Yeah, she's always my baby. She's still quite small as well, so it feels right calling her baby. Although it's really funny because she's been getting all her winter fur in. Like, it's starting to get colder, so her winter fur is growing, and she looks huge. Like, her fur makes her look so huge and fluffy, and then you pick her up and it all just shrinks. Also, Popo, hello, welcome. Yeah, Humid Felix, you have a dog? Oh, I love dogs as well. Honestly, I love all pets. I think pets are lovely, but I've always been a cat person in numerous ways, haha. But yeah, I just love pets and animals in general. Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness, again! Oh, Mama Petra! Thank you so much for the gift subs! Oh my goodness! Oh, this is such a hype train! Wow! Oh, thank you so much! Oh, much appreciated. Oh, thank you! Thank you so much! Maybe I should get back to being killed. That feels so inappropriate now. Oh. But yes, thank you so much for the raid. Thank you for all the new follows, for all the support. I hope you enjoy your time here. I'll be playing Power Wash Simulator tomorrow as well. So if you're not into the horror thing, I'm gonna be having a much more chill time tomorrow. So if you want to see me not at my goriest, I guess. I don't know. Oh my goodness. Yay, Power Watch! Thank you for the 250 bits, Kiriana. Oh, you are so generous. Thank you so much. But yeah, Power Wash Simulator is super, super comfy. I've played it quite a lot now. It's a good time. But yeah, we're not doing that at the moment though. We're being dismembered. Ha! Soon a blade cut through my neck, sawing as it got stuck and stabbing again and again, till the head finally came off, and I was falling again. Drowning through the flesh, clogging my throat as it all reattached, I came to a realization. Oh, I understood. Alice, what had you understood? I was done. I'd certainly gone mad. I couldn't handle this anymore. Even if I still wanted to go home, it wouldn't do me any good anyhow. Maybe this was a dream, an illusion. Just how long was I supposed to keep falling? Yay! We're all mad here. Alice, you would never awaken from this dream. Then I was falling again. I decided to stop thinking and only keep falling. Oh, wow. Tick, tock, tick, tock. I opened my eyes to a courtroom with an air of fear. Watching? I was simply watching through another's eyes, sitting in the back of her head without a single meaningful thing in my mind. I was watching. Your Majesty. The body moved without me thinking to do anything. I no longer cared to do anything. The body talked without me thinking to say anything. I no longer cared to say anything. It didn't matter. If I could have, I would have stopped watching. It was not because the sights were horrific, but because I no longer wanted to deal with anything and everything, not even the matters of the Red Queen. A dog, a cat, a bird, a girl, a boy, a person who was neither a mother, a father, an elderly. One by one they came to be judged. Some begged, some cried, some fought, some silently accepted their fates. The rabbit read out their accused crimes for show, allowing for the Red Queen to proceed. However, there existed only one result. Guilty. At some point she began to laugh. At some point I began to laugh. As ruler, I have sovereignty over my citizens, and at the same time a responsibility to make this kingdom prosper. A prosperous kingdom must have law and order, do understand. Off to the gallows. Be glad for mercy, criminal. Glory to Her Majesty for her benevolence. Cards! Bring the next one in for Her Majesty. The accused was reported by her brother-in-law for engaging in gossip and planning treason against the crown by speaking ill of Her Majesty. A simple sentence, a simple beheading for this bird. Bring her away. Cards! The accused was caught evading taxes. She was also seen stealing from upright citizens, assaulting merchants, and spreading rumors about Your Majesty's state of mind. She was only apprehended recently as the cards were unable to capture her previously. Break her legs. Your Majesty is truly brilliant. As for her sentence, cut off her arms so that she can't commit crimes any longer when she reaches the afterlife, and throw her into prison to await execution by skinning. What will a cat rug look like without arms? A criminal's skin is much too rough for a good rug. Off with the cat. Wow. Goodbye, Cheshire. She seemed to think for a moment and snapped her fingers, rending the cat's arms from her body in an instant. That is terrifyingly similar to what I did earlier. Also, thank you so much, everyone, for the level 3 hype train. Hype! Hype for monarchy crimes. Abuse of power, woo! And execute the cards who failed to catch her before. We have no need for worthless cards. Next! Next! The Red Queen. I didn't know if she was happy. While she convicted the accused, I inadvertently began to lose track of my surroundings, only to be jolted back by a particularly interesting sentence. The accused. Before the rabbit finished speaking, the accused rushed at the Red Queen. The Red Queen gestured with her hand. An unseen power slammed the criminal down to the ground, creating a crack on the marble flooring of the courtroom. Presumptuous? The force tore fingertip-sized meat piece from the criminal, leaving it writhing on the floor as it rolled around, trying to get her to stop. Oh, that's horrific. Have you forgotten who you belonged to? The Red Queen finished once the criminal was ripped into a pile of red pulp on the ground, to be swept away by the cards. I was smiling. The Red Queen was smiling. Next! The day in court continued until the courtroom was devoid of life. She worked on paperwork after court. Between stacks, she conversed with ministers who sweat nervously every time she met their beady eyes. Finishing up her important documents, she proceeded to go for a brisk walk and practice swinging a sword here and there. Bringing the Red Queen a towel and water, the rabbit asked if she wanted to visit the White Queen today, which the Red Queen decided against. Dinner time arrived soon enough. She sat in a large dining room at the head of a long table, all alone. A sumptuous meal was served with red wine before her, but she had no one to share it with. The food tasted all right. More importantly, it had been poisoned. The chef used just a little too much so that the meat began to lose its charm and turned into mediocrity. The Red Queen called the chef over. His eyes darted around the room wildly, knowing that he had nowhere to escape. His legs shook and he fell to his knees, beginning to beg. The Red Queen took a sword from a decorative suit of armor in the room. Off with his head for daring to poison the Queen. Watching as the servants cleaned away the chef's remains, she returned to her meal, which had been quickly replaced. She drank a sip of wine, poisoned wine. Oh. The next day, she returned to the courtroom. One by one, the numbers diminished again. Even those in the jury were not spared if they made the slightest slight. The rabbit smiled with glee, writing down the names of criminals who were to be executed. Not a few times she took the job herself, an axe in hand and boots squelching in blood. The Red Queen enjoyed her judgment court. Wonderland was her domain, and its people her pieces. If they became disobedient, then she would never let them throw her possessions into disarray. Some days she didn't go, working on governance. Other days she did, working on her world's peace. So much poison. These times continued until one day the Red Queen fell asleep when I was still awake. Curling my fingers, I discovered I was in control. I walked over to the balcony. Seeing the ground terribly far away, I lifted myself over the balustrade and threw myself off. Air rushed past my face. Splat. Falling. I was falling again, back through time. The interstice between the different times and different worlds was still incomprehensible as before. My body knitted together from its mangled form, and I returned to Wonderland. Falling. I fell straight onto a table. Bam! I had returned to an iteration of the Hatter's place. Sprawled out on the table, I glanced upward and saw that familiar pair of mismatched eyes unfamiliar. Do I know you? No, not quite. Could you get off the table? I do need to put down the tea and snacks at some point, if you understand. The Hatter seemed different, as if a heavy weight had yet to settle on her shoulders. Is this before? Oh. I got off the table and stood awkwardly around the familiar, unfamiliar place. The Hatter set down her teapot. She was preparing a tea party of sorts, causing me to realize that I had never seen her do setup, as things were already on the table. Always already on the table. What's your name? Alice. I'm Alice. You should be Hatter. Mm-hmm. Is there somewhere you need to go so badly that you nearly broke my table? No. I've nowhere. Well, why don't you take a seat? No one uses that armchair over there. Much too armchair, they said. You know how armchairs are, right? I hesitantly approached my armchair. The chair looked newer than in my before. When I sat on it, I sank into the soft cushions. Even though it reminded me of a hammer through my skull, the chair did nothing wrong. I clutched my chest. You aren't having tea? What time is it? Oh no, that's me. That's me. You aren't having tea? What time is it? This person hated me. Perhaps she did not hate me yet in the moment that we were meeting now, but she hated me all the same in the future, in my present. I shouldn't have cared, but my heart hurt. I don't want to be hated by the Hatter. She's so good. The clock says 15 minutes before 4. It's almost tea time. Maybe it already is. I'm waiting for March and Dormouse, so it's surely not yet tea time. Tea time, after all, is just a state of mind. I see. You look sad, Alice. Do I? I raised a hand to my face, touching my cheek. I certainly was not smiling. What's your favourite tea? She retrieved a tea set to place on the table, bringing not 3 cups but 4. 1 cup and saucer was put before me. I enjoy black tea. Recently I've grown fond of Earl Grey. Tea time is a state of mind. It's very true. Like I said earlier, it was mentioned in the game earlier, and I was just like, tea time is whenever I feel like a cup of tea. I will just go and put the kettle on. If I want tea, then it's tea time. What about you, Hatter? I like any tea, but I also rather like Earl Grey. I'm not sure why it's an Earl rather than a Count or a Duke, but I'm sure the tea tastes best an Earl. I've heard that it's named after a minister. Or perhaps the minister was named after a tea. Fancy that. Your name is Grey, so Her Majesty tells you to become Earl Grey. The Hatter looked happier. A film of water built up over my vision, turning it blurry. I must have gotten something in my eyes. A hiccup bubbled up my throat. The water wouldn't stop. Why are you crying? Tears rolled down my cheeks as I hurriedly tried to wipe them away with my hands. I really cannot explain. This is so odd. Eat cake! Do you like cake? Would you rather a sandwich or maybe something salty? If you're lacking in salt and sugar, you'll go a little crazy like that. She poured me a cup of tea and passed me some cake with a set of utensils she was just getting out. Tastes good. Drinking the tea and eating the cake, I noticed a much more amateurish flavour than my Hatter, the future Hatter, would make. However, it tasted good, and maybe it tasted happier? My shoulders shook up and down for a while. I cried for the longest time I had cried since I was a toddler, rubbing my eyes pink. Once my tears stopped, I cleared my throat and averted my eyes from the Hatter. Compliments to you, Hatter. Why, thank you. We sat together in a peaceful silence for a while afterward, before she turned her head and exclaimed, "There they are! It's the hair of the dormouse! This is before everything went terribly." A sleepy little mouse and a hare with a straw hat approached from the forest path. They looked just like the little puppets my Hatter wore often on her hands. Looking at me in curiosity, they took their seats at the table. A guest?
Looks like a pest.
Don't be rude, March.
Three's already a crowd. No room, no room.
Three's a crowd, but 4's a party. If we get 5, then, well, we can think about that later. Don't make a girl cry, March. This is Alice. This is March Hare. This is Dormouse. Hatter poured some tea for both of them, and they began to chat, glancing toward me and tugging me into the conversation, even as their ramblings devolved into nonsense. That sounds like most of my conversations, to be honest. Halfway through each topic, the Dormouse seemed to snooze off and dip her little nose into her tea by accident.
Did Hatter make you cry, Alice? She's a lady killer, she is. I've always known it. Dormouse, Dormouse, wake up for the gossip.
I'm right here, March.
She looks like butter.
It's the yellow hair.
Butter! She looks a little silly, like her brain's been all churned up, but she looks like good butter.
I couldn't help but crack a slight smile at their antics.
More sunny than buttery.
Do you want butter, Alice? No, thank you. I'm quite all right. Lady killer. She is a lady killer. I was taken in right from the beginning.
that aside, psst, Alice.
The March Hare and Dormouse pulled me to the side for a private conversation.
Hatter seems to fancy you.
Oh.
Not so directly.
Don't raise your voice. Dormouse, shh.
That's usually my line, March.
You can't own lines now, can you?
March is right that the Hatter looks fondly upon you. You do seem nice.
Kinda dumb.
She seems nice.
I still approve, I'm just saying, alright?
Be kind to Hatter.
Be good to our Hatter.
We can't be around her forever, so you have to promise us, Alice. I have a feeling that this is very important.
Swear it on a stick of holy butter.
I won't be here for very long, but no, I'll promise it. I swear on everything that could ever be precious to me that I'll treat her well if we meet again.
And she's back to bed. Dormouse.
We returned to the Hatter. The four of us continued chatting over tea. I enjoyed tea time today, I really did. Yet I didn't belong here, and I didn't deserve here either. I knew that my presence would just throw everything into disarray. Finishing my tea, I stopped the Hatter from refilling my cup. I had a wonderful time today. I have to leave. This place isn't mine, but thank you for the tea again, Hatter. And you too, March, Dormouse. I'm really sorry.
It was nice meeting you, Alice.
I already knew you from the future, but I was also happy to see you, Hatter. It was a shame that my Hatter didn't feel the same way. Alice, what did you feel for the Hatter? Something precious.
See you later.
I wanted her to be happy. Auf Wiedersehen. Giving her a weak wave, I left the happier Hatter. That's what she said to me earlier. I didn't particularly have a place to go. Home, that was no longer my goal. Walking away, I wiped away the tears that welled up again. Eventually, I was falling again. I died, that much I understood. However, I seem to have forgotten how much I died this last time. In a way, I knew that I couldn't keep doing this. Alice, this was your last iteration. The power letting you keep falling had already run out. The next time, you wouldn't come back to Wonderland in any time. As my body pieced itself back into place, I waited for myself to stop falling. I burst back into my relative present and hit the ground softly. Laying back flat on the ground, I grasped at the grass below me and cut my fingers on their blades. Above me, the sky was terribly blue. No matter who I was, the world would move on without me. However, people could not so simply move on. Be it a matter of hate, or a matter of love, or just a matter of apathy, the connections people had were difficult to sever. Before I realized it, a certain person had settled into my heart. I want to see Hatter. My Hatter. Alice, you really are no good. No, it's better to say that I really am no good. I'd already fallen for that Mad Hatter. She wormed her way into my heart unintentionally as she threw me on a wild duck chase for the Red Queen's dismembered parts in her revenge. I wondered how she felt now that she had her goal fulfilled. The final look on her face that I saw before I died was painful. It was painful not because of the crushing of my skull, but because of the constriction of my heart as I looked at her. A strange girl, a lonely girl, ultimately a terribly kind girl who was stumbling along a bloody path. That was who the Hatter was. I'm sorry. I pushed myself up. Useless Alice had a want, not one of obligation, not one of what should be, because really, had I really wanted to go home? Not one that tutors or anyone forced upon her. I went to find the Hatter. I started walking. I started running. There she was, all by her lonesome. The bags under her eyes had not lightened at all, and she listlessly played with the rim of a teacup until she suddenly saw me. Why? She harshly stood up. Why did you come back? Why can't you just disappear? Grabbing a plate off of the table, ignoring the pastry atop it, she chucked it at me. Smash, the plate brushed me and shattered on the ground, leaving a mangled lump of sweets and porcelain. Alice! Alice! She slammed the table, originally forcing her hands down with great momentum, before suddenly slowing down as she smacked it. Wincing, the Hatter let out a pained, guttural noise. Why are you like this? I hate you, Alice! She clutched her chest and glared at me with murky, watery eyes. Why are you like this? I had no answer. You're contradictorily cruel and kind. You're messed up, Alice. Just choose one thing to be, you heartless woman. I like you, but I also hate you. I also liked her. I loved her. You're a useless freeloader who just comes to bother me, a waste of space. You're Alice who always accompanies me and extends a hand to me. You're the Red Queen, monster, killer. I hate you. Why couldn't you have properly just died? I killed you. You're the same thing as the Red Queen. You shouldn't have come back. She picked up a teacup and threw it at me, smashing me right in the forehead. I stumbled back. Hot tea spilled down me, mixing with the blood that came from the simple flesh wound. The cup itself shattered into tiny pieces on the ground. Go away! She grabbed the bloody hammer off the table and flung it, missing me by a far margin. It whooshed through the air, spinning, and lodged itself deeply into a tree behind me. My blood was still on the metal face. Tell me who you're supposed to be! Saving. Right. Bad end, good end. Yes, bad first. I'm always saving. I'm saving before every single option in this. I have so many points I could just go back to and be like, I made terrible decisions here. Let's undo that. I am the Red Queen. The person who hurt you so much, it's me. In the end, it's me whether I've taken on a different role here than before or not. I am the Red Queen just as I am Alice. We can only be one and the same. I held my hands behind my back, thinking about all the things I had killed. All the things I had hurt. A part of me relished in the violence. I'm sorry. I should have gone when you killed me. I should have atoned and never bothered you again. But I wanted to see you one last time. More than I expected. I had fallen for you. No! The Hatter walked towards me. She grabbed my cloak, pulling me downward closer to her. Her grip tightened and then loosened, as if she didn't know how firmly to hold on to me. That expression tells me that you'll really leave me alone, after coming back and telling me such things. I really hate you, Alice. I know. Could I steal one last kiss? My lips brushed past hers. She pulled me forward by the cloak and initiated another kiss, biting down on my lip till she drew blood. A taste that should have been bitter iron torched my tongue with sweetness. I love you. She pushed me down onto the ground. I really hate you. You know right, I hate you, Alice. So get mad, keep bothering me, keep doing what you always do, and stay with me for tea. Her tears dripped down onto my cheeks. I know, but I love you. Alice. I love you, Hatter, so I can't stay. It was because Wonderland was a terrible bloody mess that we met. Perhaps in an ideal world, we never would have crossed paths. I didn't know which way we would have gone. Perhaps each of us would be left with a gap in our hearts. Perhaps each of us would find something else to fill us up. But it was in this imperfect world that we met. This imperfect place was no fairy tale. Goodbye, Hatter. Didn't expect the romance. Oh, it's a Yuri visual novel, so that means there's the girl elements to it. But oh, I'm so attached to Hatter. This feels so bad. If it was time for Alice to leave, a light surrounded me, and I felt my body begin to crumble away. breaking apart to disappear from Wonderland. Take your time. Perhaps I was already dead. If so, I had to thank whichever deity out there gave me the chance to say my goodbyes to the Hatter. With my remaining power, I let the current Wonderland crumble. The Red Queen's existence was not needed here. Let there be a Wonderland much more wonderful than this, much more peaceful and happy, one where she could still smile. Oh, maybe I did know some German after all. Leb wohl? Leb wohl? Is that like New World, maybe? I don't know German. In a land more wonderful than this, we would not meet again. Oh, it's like a goodbye? Oh, I see. Ah. Oh, live well. Oh. Oh, my heart. Oh, what an incredible game. Oh, wow. What time is it? Oh, it's nearly 6 already. This may end up being a 2-stream thing. Yeah, there's definitely multiple endings, because there are definitely multiple paths to choose. There's definitely going to be something else with the White Queen as well, I'm pretty sure. I don't think that was a good ending. It was a bittersweet ending. The Red Queen ending. Thank you for playing. I would consider that a neutral ending. But oh, it's so bittersweet. Yeah, the good ending is the one where I don't murder a bunch of things to get to this point. Script scene 61%. Oh. But yeah, I think what I'll do is I'm gonna try this end saying I am Alice, but I've got a feeling that because of all of the horrible things I've done so far with the other choices, she's not gonna believe me if I say I'm Alice. I think the only way to get the good end here would be to not murder everybody. I don't know, just the feeling I get. But I'm gonna try it anyway. I'm Alice. I'm Alice. The Red Queen and I are one and the same, but I am Alice. Her essence is intertwined with mine, but I am me and me alone. I'm scared of the idea that we could become the same. I never want to become someone like her. An empty heart, an empty life. Even as she lashes out to the rest of the world, she's still empty. Admittedly, I am also no good. I'm a heartless person who hurts others as well, but I hold just 2 certainties. I am Alice. Alice is me. And for the I who am Alice, you are the person who took my heart. Is it okay to say I'm Alice? I nervously fiddled with my fingers behind my back, looking at the Hatter as my heart raced. I couldn't read her expression behind those mismatched eyes. She wiped her eyes with her sleeves. Opening her mouth time and time again, she seemed to have trouble finding her words. I like the Alice who is Alice. The Red Queen scares me, but if you would let me believe it, I want to believe that you are Alice. Golden Dino, hello! Thank you for the follow, welcome! Do I like pudding? I do like pudding. I guess it depends on the pudding, though. But welcome! Hope you enjoy your time here. Thank you for the follow. No. Yeah, no. Ever since March and Dormouse left, time has stopped at tea times like a curse. I'm tired of tea. Is my life just for revenge on the Red Queen? She looked up at the sky as if lost. The Red Queen is dead. Deliberately mouthing the words slowly again, she seemed to convince herself of that reality. Then she looked back toward me. Alice, you are Alice. Her voice grew small, and she gazed downward to her feet. I hurt you. I know. I extended a hand towards her. She who was all alone, she who stood so close yet so far away. I wanted for her to take my hand. We were both problem children. Perhaps I was a little mad. She slowly walked before me, looking at my hand as if seeing something foreign. Lifting her arm up, she reached out her hand shakingly. Her fingers trembled and hovered over my hands. For a second, she retracted her hand. Then she placed her hand in mine. I love you, Hatter. Alice. She stared at me, trying to ascertain the truth of my words. With a deep, shaky breath, she gave me her response. I love you too. Would you accompany me for a dance, give me a kiss, and make me happy? She asked of me just 3 things. I can't make you happy. I wished that I could fulfill all 3 of her requests. A physical item or a physical deed, those I could easily accomplish, but one of the heart, I knew not if I could. I don't know if we can make each other happy, but I placed a kiss upon her lips. That's fine. Even if I have no ability to promise such things, I want to let you be happy. You are my dearest, precious person. I want you to be happy, Alice. That makes me happy. Not just like this. More so. Oh, they're dancing. Oh, they're dancing. I took her hand and we danced upon the table. Spinning about, our feet entangled with the tablecloth and tea sets strewn about. Hatter, if the world were to end tomorrow, what would you do? I have nothing left here for me, Alice, so I suppose I would do nothing. You're still right here with me, aren't you? She was so light. I wish I could show you my world. It's not a particularly spectacular world, rather it's utterly unfantastical. Yet, there were things that I liked. Maybe my siblings, or better, the 2 cats, if you care for cats at all. I would have liked that. I pulled her along, leading the mad dance. With no music, we moved to the erratic tempo of our hearts together. Alice! Why did you fall in love with me? Maybe it was just fate. Maybe it was just luck. Meeting you time and time again here, I grew fonder and fonder of you. At first, I simply thought you were lonely, but eventually I fell in love with your heart. Yeah, this is, my heart is so warmed by this. I love it so much. Love. I've never known about love before. I'm not sure if I can truly explain why my heart beats as it does for you, Hatter. Even that aside, you're cute, you can cook and sew and brew good tea, you're warm, you're actually rather kind. What about you to me? I should ask that to you instead. Happiness. Probably we had no such fate, but we wished for it. Finally we fell. Falling, falling, falling. We were falling. Down this rabbit hole with no start nor end. We were falling together. I knew not where we would fall, for there were no more wonderlands for us to fall to. That world we just fell from had been the very last iteration. I embraced the Hatter and closed my eyes. How warm she was, the person who I treasured. I only asked for a world where we could continue to be happy together. Surely we would meet again in a land much more wonderful than this. Somewhere, sometime, surely. Ooh. I'm so glad my terrible decisions didn't lock me out of that. Oh, I love the Hatter so much. Oh, I love her. I hope they find happiness. They deserve to find happiness. Oh, this game is so good. But yeah, I'm looking at the time and it's already so late. I've already been streaming for almost 4 hours, so I think this is going to be a 2-parter. I think I'm going to be streaming this again sometime. As soon as possible, probably next week. I narrated it so well. Oh, thank you. I'm so glad you think so. I got Alice ending. Oh. Script scene 64%. Yeah, there's still a good 36% to find. I've still got to do all those alternate choices, which probably lead to bad ends. Oh, I wonder if under extra there's... Ooh, endings. Yes, I've still got 3 dead ends that I haven't found. And there's still another ending here. I feel like that's going to be possibly a White Queen ending. Ooh. Stuff to come back to, definitely. What an amazing game. I love this. I am so excited to play more of this. I'm definitely playing more of this. As soon as possible. Next week. I'll be adding it to my schedule, definitely. But yes, with that, I shall... bloop. I shall head on over to here, and we can find somebody to send a raid onto. Man, what a game. What an incredible game. I am so glad I decided to play this. I was wondering whether to or not. Whether it'd be a good stream game, but I figured it's been a while since I did a visual novel, and honestly, a part of me kind of missed the voice acting. I like making voices for characters, and I was just like, yeah, it's about time. About time for some visual novel voice acting stuff. Action Production 14, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome. Welcome. I hope you enjoy your time here. I hope you've enjoyed your time here. I'm ending now. There's not much time left. But I will be back tomorrow. I'm going to be playing some Power Wash Simulator tomorrow. So it's going to be very, very comfy times. Just very comfy chill times. Just going to listen to some video game music, clean some things, have a chat. It'll be good. But yeah, it's so good. Not a fan of horror, but a fan of Yuri. Oh, it's... if you're interested as well, Who is the Red Queen, the game? If you don't want to wait until I'm playing again next week, it's actually available for free on Steam. It's a completely free game. Let me post a cheeky link in chat. There it is. If you want to play it yourself, there is the link to the store page. And it's completely free, so if you want to play it, you have no excuse not to. There you go. But yeah, it's free. I can't believe how good it is for free as well. It's so well crafted, I feel is the way I want to describe it. It's amazing. I'm having so much fun with it. But yes. Internet, come back. Thank you. There we go. Oh, it's got it. Thank you. Thank you for stopping in. And thank you for the head pat too. But yes, let's find somebody to send a raid over to, because I think I need to rest my voice for a bit now. My voice is... I don't know if you can tell, I feel like I'm starting to lose my voice because of how much I've been narrating. So I should probably go rest, go have some nice fruit tea or something. Some fruity fruit tea. But yes, thank you so much everyone for joining me. Thank you. Thank you for the raids. Thank you for the hype trains. It's been incredible. It's been so nice. And I hope everyone else has enjoyed it as much as I have. Still don't have a raid target. Who shall I send a raid on to? Let's see who I've got. I haven't even been looking. I'm so distracted. Oh, there's quite a few people I like online. Who do I want to raid? What are we thinking? What are we feeling? Something comfy? Comfy cozy? Ooh. Ooh, I might send a raid over to Charlie. Charlie's a cow VTuber who does a lot of really, really gorgeous art. And I really love Charlie's art a lot, so I feel like an art stream would be a nice, comfy place to be. But yes, thank you so much everyone for joining me. Let me get the raid messages up. If you're sub to me, we'll use the comfy emote for comfy times. I realized there was a lot of gore and dismemberment. It was still comfy, I hope. It was a nice ending as well. I'm really glad we had like a happy ending to finish on. That's what I was... That just felt like the right spot to leave it at. I could have gone back and got another bad ending, but I think that's the right note to leave it on. But yes, I'm gonna send a raid over to Charlie, please. Spread the love from me. But yes, thank you so much everyone for joining me. I will be back tomorrow at the same time for some Power Wash Simulator. Hopefully I won't have completely lost my voice. I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see if I can actually speak tomorrow or not. But yes, this game is so good. I'm so glad I played it. And I'm gonna keep playing it. Gonna keep going. But yes, thank you so much everyone for joining me. Oh, thank you for the head pat as well. A sneaky head pat before we end. Thank you so much everyone for joining. And until next time, bye bye!